Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's me, Colin, Project Constitution. As promised you today, I have my special guest, Mason Lemme. We are going to interview him. He is a brave young man who just decided to speak out and step down from Turning Point. He was in, I believe, the Texas state chapter of Turning Point, and yeah, so we're going to interview him, get his thoughts, find out a little bit about him, how he got started, and go from there. So, welcome to the show, Mason. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So first off, for any of you guys that haven't seen his video yet, let me pull up his channel here. And go ahead and follow him. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube here. At Mason, or I'm sorry, at _ Lemme React, or Lemme _ Reacts on YouTube. And you can also follow him on Instagram here at Lemme Reacts. This is his main platform, as he's told me. And he is also on X. You can follow him here. Let's try to get him built up here on X. Mason Lemme at Lemme Reacts, also on X. But yeah, man, he put out a video here, and we will go ahead and just show a couple minutes of this video just so you know what we're talking about. And by the way, they're attacking his channel since he came out, speaking out. Now they're mass reporting his channel, hitting him with false reports, saying it's graphic, violent content, everything else. So yeah, he definitely go give this guy some support.
It was a miracle that no one else was killed. Kirk on September 10th. This is why I'm quitting Turning Point USA. This is a letter I have written exactly 7 months after the assassination of Charlie Kirk that I will be sending to my TPUSA chapter at Texas State University. This letter includes my opinions and thoughts on many things that are always subject to change. I have an open mind, and I critically think to the best of my ability. The pursuit of the truth is all I care about. I'm utilizing my First Amendment right to share what I believe to be the truth and leads that help us get close to the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk on September 10th, 2025. Why I quit TPUSA. To the Turning Point USA chapter at Texas State University and to whom it may concern. These past 7 months have been some of the craziest times of my life. Ups and downs, clarity and confusion, meeting new people, making new friends, seeing darkness come out of people, and seeing the light that opposes it in others. On September 10th, 2025, we witnessed one of the darkest days in American history. On a college campus just like ours, Charlie Kirk, an innocent man, was assassinated for being a Christian and for standing up for one thing, the truth. Charlie was the guy that got me into politics, not because he won debates or was cool with Trump, but because of his faith in Jesus and his relentless pursuit of the truth. I watched him for years, and his boldness that was rooted in common sense gave me the confidence to voice my own opinions and talk to others who might disagree with me. On 9/11, the very next day, I joined the TPUSA chapter at Texas State University. Throughout my time involved on campus, especially during our September 15th memorial event, myself and others have received death threats, racist harassment, constant mockery, and a plethora of students, professors, and adults that joyfully cheered for the death of Charlie Kirk. Some of these moments even attracted national media attention. I always knew there was evil in the world, but after seeing how quickly and easily people celebrated someone getting shot in the neck, I then realized that there were a lot more demons in the world than I thought. On September 21st, my dad and I flew to Glendale for the Charlie Kirk Memorial funeral. I can go on and on about that trip because it was truly one of the most powerful things I've ever witnessed, but that's not what this letter is about. As I get into my main point, I want to start off by quoting Charlie when he was on the PBD podcast in 2023. Quote, "My pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right." End quote. As each month has gone by since that September 10th day, I truly believe this is the unfinished progression of the fallout of that event, the stages of how it has unfolded and how it will continue to unfold. Grief, question, suspicion, theory, lead, evidence, conclusion, and ultimately the truth. Right now, I believe we are at a critical crossroads between leads and evidence. We live in a sick world that hates the truth. We're up against powerful forces of darkness and a sinister evil that never rests, Satan. I truly believe that there has been a massive worldwide manipulation of the Christian faith surrounding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This strategy was used to weaponize people's faith in Jesus against themselves in order to make people believe a specific narrative. I will call this the all things are possible narrative. This is the narrative that the current Turning Point USA has pushed relentlessly. They want you to believe Tyler Robinson was the lone shooter. They want you to believe that Charlie's bones were so healthy and had a spine like Superman that his neck stopped a .30-06 rifle and was a miracle that no one else was killed. They don't want any footage from Utah Valley University to be seen, and they have done everything they can to backtrack Charlie's stances on many topics, especially Israel and Iran. If you question or push back against any of this narrative, according to TPUSA and many others who I will mention in this letter, you are a crazy and demonic conspiracy theorist that hated Charlie. I've done extensive research on the .30-06. I've listened to gun experts, former US soldiers, and have done my own research on its capabilities. This weapon is capable of killing any land animal on Earth. This includes moose, bears, elk, elephants, buffalo, rhinos, etc.
All right, so that's just you can guys go to his video and you can go watch the full thing when we're done here. You're more than welcome to do that. I suggest you do. He put you actually did a great job on that video. You put a lot of extra B-roll in it to with your talking points. Excellent video, brother.
Appreciate you.
I guess a good place to start would be how did you get involved in Turning Point in the first place? Like, did Charlie come to your campus, or did you see him on TV, or what inspired you to join Turning Point?
So I've followed him for years, even back to I call before 2020, like before the woke times. Like, it's kind of like Star Wars, like before the Empire, or before the dark times. But even like 2018, 2019 era, like I still followed his stuff, and like anytime either like the white supremacy stuff or like just BLM stuff was starting to come up, or systemic racism, that was a big thing back then, like that whole talking point. His stuff was the stuff that I followed, even Candace a little bit, but it was mostly him. Like I wasn't indulged in politics like at all until kind of 2020 hit, when COVID, the election, just all the crazy stuff happening, the lockdowns and stuff. That year after the election, I told myself, I was like, okay, I'm going to do my own research. I'm not going to just listen to the headlines. I'm not going to just listen to the news. I'm going to look up independent journalists. I'm going to do my own research, video proof. Like, I want to see what's happening. And that's just kind of how I went from there. It's been 6 years now, which is crazy to think of. But yeah, I mean, Charlie's always, I said it in my video, but he's always been the guy that I'd turn to if I had questions about politics, because he always put Jesus first. He never was like, okay, like Trump's doing this, and then like, oh, by the way, guys, like read your Bible. It's like, no, he was like, the pursuit of the truth is the only thing that matters. And if Trump says something stupid, I'm going to be like, yeah, that was stupid. And if the Democrats say something stupid, I'm going to be like, yeah, that was stupid. And even if they say something truthful, I'm going to be like, okay, that was truthful that they said that. So Charlie was the guy that got me into that, just pursuing the truth regardless of what people say. And I think that's honestly why my video pissed off a lot of people. It's because I'm not claiming like, okay, they did this for sure. I'm like, no, this is what I believe with the evidence that I've seen and the research that I've done. And it's what I believe to be the truth. So I'm seeing all these people on Twitter in the past 2 days blow up on me being like, oh, what do you know? Like, oh, you're accusing these people. I'm like, sharing my opinions, bro. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, it's a free country. Like, so that's just kind of what Charlie instilled in me. And it's honestly what I've heard from a lot of former Turning Point employees, especially Aubrey Leitch that I mentioned. And she has freaking private investigators at her house. And I'm like, dude, it's freaking crazy. So last thing I'll say, I'm never backing down. I don't care, like, respectfully. If they want me to lay down my morals and denounce Jesus and the truth, you're going to have to kill me straight up. Like, I will speak the truth. I will protect children. I will fight for the truth to the day I die with my dying breath. That is my mission as a Christian, and that is my mission as a man and a seeker of the truth. And that's what Charlie has told me.
That's beautiful, brother. You know, and that's the way to be. You know, you gotta have principles, you gotta have morals, you gotta stand on them, and you gotta put Christ first, you gotta put God first, you gotta put the truth first, and that's what matters. And Charlie is the one that championed that. You know, he's the one. I mean, he's the reason I started this channel originally.
100%.
You know, he's the reason I got into politics. So yeah, I feel you on that, brother. So when it comes to okay, so now you said you went to the memorial, correct?
Yes, sir.
What actually we have our guest host is here, so let me add her. She's running a little bit late. Let me just pull her up real quick.
Cool.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Sorry I'm running late.
Oh, you're good. This is Christina Holbrook, Thought Criminal. She on X, and also I think she still has a TikTok. We'll see. I don't know. I'll let her tell you that.
Yeah, so I am a investigative journalist and a data analysis. I am under the Thought Criminals brand, which is a brand I established about 7 years ago. And while I used to be a large content creator on TikTok, I was highly censored, and obviously all my accounts got taken. So I don't partake with TikTok a lot. But if you like TikTok, they do have the rooms that you can engage in, although it seems to be pretty much of a echo chamber at this point. So,
well, let's try to get her some following on X as well, because she's had that's one thing, Mason, that you'll realize with all of us is we've all been banned. We've all pretty much been demonetized from all these platforms. I mean, it's really been a war on people that speak the truth.
it's getting a lot better, though, Colin. It is. When I started doing social media about 10 years ago, the conservative voices were really being just shadow banned, and they would attack you based on your character or your past. So what's happening in our current conservative media is they're all consolidating now, and a lot of this ecosystem that the 501(c)(3)s and people that are creating these LLCs and then turning them into PACs, they are using that to bring an increase in profit about 30 or 20 to 30% going into the 2028 presidential election. So the conservative media issues we had in 2020 and 2024 will not be the same issues we have in 2028.
Absolutely. All right, Mason. So, okay. So the memorial. You said you were at the memorial. I guess just what did you see at that event? What did you experience? What did you think of Erica? I guess that's probably a second question, but what did you think of Erica Kirk? Did that put you off when you first saw her, or not, or just kind of let me know how you felt about the memorial?
Yeah, so me and my dad flew out there, and so the night before the memorial, we went to the vigils that they had at TPUSA headquarters outside the gates. That experience and seeing other people and talking to other people there was, I'm not exaggerating this, I've seen some pretty evil stuff in my life and talked to some pretty crazy people. It was the heaviest feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, straight up. Like, just the silence there, and all the little notes that people wrote. People were leaving the Starbucks coffee with the 2 honeys. People were leaving every little tiny sentiment you could think of, freaking Christian flags, pictures of him from his wedding, Bible, literal whole Bibles with like verses underlined and stuff with his picture in it. Just like, it was crazy. I took so many pictures and I posted a video about that too. But the memorial the next day, me and my dad, I slept for 1 hour. And this is actually funny because when I created Lemme React, I hadn't created it until after we got back from TPUSA headquarters. I had 1 hour. I don't even think I slept. My dad got 1 hour of sleep. I didn't sleep because I was posting some interviews I was doing. and I didn't have a channel yet. I was just my personal Instagram. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, if I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff, I want to separate it from my main stuff. And I was thinking, because my last name's Lemme, so I was like, okay, like I could do Lemme something. I was like, okay, I react to a lot of stuff. I could do Lemme React. So that's kind of how that was born. And then the memorial happened and stuff. So the memorial, though, it was really good. They had Chris Tomlin there. They had a bunch of people there. The worship was fantastic, totally amazing. And the speakers were great. And I remember telling my dad, I was like, everyone's talking about Jesus, like everybody, like Tucker, Tulsi Gabbard, just all the speakers they had, everybody was bringing it back to Jesus. I was like, dude, this is freaking awesome. Like, they're not just talking about politics, they're talking about like the spiritual warfare that has to do with this event. And even Erica's speech, I posted this in my YouTube video when I was explaining this. I said, seeing a woman of God like that go up there and be strong like that, and even forgive the man who assassinated her husband. Because remember, this was September 21st, like less than 2 weeks after. I was almost brought to tears. Me and my dad were like, dude, wow, that's like crazy. We talked about it the whole way back. I talked about it for weeks, months, whatever. I talked to Chloe Cole. I don't know if you guys know Chloe Cole. She was the girl that detransitioned and stuff. I met her. She's awesome. So shout out Chloe Cole. But I talked to her about it because I think she was there too on the floor. And we were just like, dude, yeah, crazy, like crazy spiritual stuff, super awesome. Like it's a revival and stuff. The only thing that in the time, like during that time, looking back, I'm not even looking back now, like during that time that I thought was like, okay, that's a little weird, was the registering to vote people that were signing people up. It felt like a football game. It felt like they were everywhere around, the snacks and stuff, like the flyers giving out, like, hey, make sure you're signed up to vote. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense because like that was Charlie's thing. Like he registered people to vote, but at the same time, it's like, it's a funeral. Like everyone's here mourning. So it was a little contradictory for me, but it wasn't like a big thing. But yeah, I could get into like my perspective of it now, but that's just kind of my thoughts in the moment during that time of the.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Have you been, prior to attending this memorial, have you been to any other Turning Point USA events?
Yes. So I went to a TPUSA event 3 years before 2025. So like 2022, I went to some meetings with the chapter at Texas State University. And it put me off, honestly, because I can talk about this because none of the people that were there are in the chapter now. They're all gone. Everyone was just getting drunk and just like hanging out. And like, we were all conservative, but they were just being stupid, like getting drunk, being like, oh yeah, fuck the liberals. Oh, let's go get wasted. I'm like, okay, bro, like you guys aren't even talking about like things that matter. You're just like, it was like a hangout for conservatives that were just being rude towards people. So that kind of put me off. But I never stopped following Charlie or Turning Point in the conservative movement. I've always been even posting stuff. Like I've posted stuff over the years on social media, but in person, yeah, that was the only thing that I've gone to.
So you've never attended one of the larger events like Detroit or I think they had one in Michigan. I've been to multiple Turning Point USA events, large events, and I've been to several of the University of Cincinnati events that Turning Point puts on with that chapter. So what was the difference between the atmosphere at the memorial, one of their larger events, and your experience with just your chapter events?
Well, because I've been to some other events too, just that we've held and like some other stuff, but even like the Chloe Cole thing, that was we had security for that event too. I think it was just the premise of it. It was like everything's been about pushing on Charlie's mission, but I mean, which is fine because like I said in my video, we've done good work with that, but none of it was like trying to find answers like even Candace and some other people are doing. It's all been kind of like, let's carry on the flame and move on. But I guess like in terms of drasticness difference from it, it's just been kind of it's not as personal, I guess, for the bigger ones. Like you can feel the genuineness of like random people asking questions and stuff. And I feel like the bigger ones, especially post 9/10, have been like more staged questions and kind of more following along the lines of talking points that they already had beforehand.
So they
Now
are
the memorial. I've also heard that they were selling merch. A lot of selling a lot of merch at the memorial. Did you see that?
Yes, they had freedom shirts, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't buy any, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's probably one of my biggest when it first started. Like, I like you at first when it first happened. When Erica made that first speech, I didn't think anything of it. I was on her side. When she was at Turning Point, when she made it in Charlie's studio, and then at the memorial, when she got up on the stage and said that. I mean, it was kind of a powerful moment at first. But looking back at everything now and watching that memorial again, I see just how planned it was, and how intentional and how fake it was, and how they were just using, like you said, with the registering the vote, with the merchandise. They were just using that, like using Charlie as a prop, using that event as a prop to. Oh, and that's another thing. I don't know if you noticed this, but they actually geofenced that whole event. So anybody that went to that event, like you, yep, they got all your phone information, sold it off to the highest bidder.
Well,
and not only that, but they also were soliciting donations. I'm sure you probably got text messages after you attended there, but they were soliciting donations to people who attended that event. Feed them some crap, as Erica Kirk, as saying, oh, Charlie would want you to donate and this, that, and the other, or whatever.
Well, let me correct something real quick, because I've spent the last 10 years in the conservative media circle. So them doing the get out to vote thing at that memorial, that is not new or different to any other event that they've had. Now, I did not attend the memorial.
Except that it's like a funeral. It's a memorial. It was completely
Yeah.
inappropriate, in my opinion.
I agree with her. I agree with her, because I'm not saying it was different. I'm saying the timing of that, such a worldwide event, such a pivotal, singular event, especially hindsight, there's no way they should have been doing that. That's taking advantage of conservatives that they know are going to be there, that are being emotional about it, that are going to be like, okay, let me sign up for Charlie because it's what he would have wanted.
But to me,
I see what you're saying.
The event that happened, the memorial, doesn't look any different than the other events that I had been to at Turning Point USA, except it was a lot bigger and it was supposed to be a funeral. So, and like he said, they were all speaking of Christ. So that is not something that the Christ and the spiritual manipulation, that is not something that regularly occurred at these Turning Point USA events. That, I believe, was new to the Turning Point, to the memorial. And I called this stuff out 2 days after, because I have been to so many events. I kind of saw it for the performance that it was, and I know how long it takes to start these events, to schedule these venues, and to get all the security and production and media and all of that stuff in. So how quickly it happened was the thing that just kind of made me gasp, and that is where I started not believing anything that was coming out from Turning Point USA.
And I'll piggyback off of that just with a quick comment, because I remember Aubrey Leitch was talking about this, and I even looked into like an article about the memorial and stuff. She was a big part of putting that on, like a big part of it. Like there was an article that said Aubrey Leitch, who completed putting this spectacular event together. And looking hindsight, if I'm remembering correctly, they, like, Erica was like, after that, they were like, okay, let's keep it going because it's what Charlie would have wanted. And they're like, dude, we're freaking exhausted. We haven't slept in freaking weeks. And then obviously the mass firing happened, and I think it was January, where Aubrey and a bunch of people got fired. So
that girl,
yeah,
she's the one that originally spoke out.
Yes.
One of the original, because there was another gentleman within, I don't know, a month or so. He came out and started speaking, stating that there were companies being made that even Charlie Kirk didn't know existed. I can't remember his name. And then Aubrey spoke out. And now it seems like there's a lot more of you guys that are willing to speak out. And I'm thankful for that, because a lot of us are not in the unique, like intimate, meetings that you guys are in with Turning Point USA. So you know that most of Turning Point USA operates as a 501(c), and they have a 501(c), and they have a PAC, and then they have Turning Point Action. So what's the actual company that was representing your college? Was it Turning Point Action, Turning Point Faith?
I'm not sure. I can't. I'm not going to pretend I know that, and I'm not going to put something out there.
So my next question would be,
I would assume it's just how all colleges work when they start a chapter. I don't know. I don't think it would be different for other campuses.
Well, Turning Point USA is a 501(c). They can only do a specific amount of political endorsement under that 501(c)(3) before it violates the law. So my question to you would be, were you guys, what was your meetings like? Was it geared towards faith, or was it geared towards politics? What were you guys talking about in these meetings?
It was more event planning. I mean,
Okay.
if I'm being totally honest and transparent, I pushed to have more meetings actually, whether it was 2 a week or just 1 a week, because I think we were only doing 1 bi-weekly. So even early on when I joined, I urged them to do more meetings, and that never really happened. So it was more towards like, okay, we have this speaker coming and this event happening. Let's get this together and make it happen. So when it comes to just like dialogue of like morals and faith and like the mission, that's what I wanted to do and what I have always been a part of. But it wasn't as prevalent in our chapter that I hoped it would be.
Do you know anything about the contract that the chapter has to sign with Turning Point? Were you involved in that process at all? Do you know how it works? Do you know what's in the contract?
No, I just know that we have to have a professor that like sponsors us. And I don't even think we can be an organization if we don't have that. We have to have like an on-campus sponsor. And the guy that we had he's a really good guy from the times I've talked to him. But I've talked to President Danfus, the president of Texas State University, multiple times with our event that we had that got attacked, and then some death threat stuff. And he's a solid Christian dude, and that I don't think our chapter would never be in jeopardy of being taken out or anything. So that's never been a worry. But like I said, it's just the will to just put more effort and thought into the kind of the why of why we do stuff, instead of just like, okay, we have this speaker, let's just get this, like, let's set the tables up, let's do it. So because I mean, you look at what Charlie did, it was surgical precision of, okay, let's do this, let's make sure we stay on task, let's make sure this is the mission statement, let's make sure this guy's heard, let's make sure we platform this guy. It was all like super coordinated, and that's why he was a freaking genius. Like, I mean, you saw him taking notes and just thinking and stuff, and he was like just kind of like thinking and like quirky like that. So that's just kind of my experience. Like like I said, I'm not going to speak for the chapter and pretend like I know all the ins and outs of how we're connected to Turning Point. But when it comes to like what we're about, who we had, and then just my own research that I've done and spoken to other people across, because I've spoken to multiple chapters across the nation. Like I've spoken to University of Georgia, some people in California, just all over, especially people getting death threats after 9/10 and tables getting flipped over and stuff. So I have a really good idea. It's not one dimensional. I have a really good idea of how these chapters work and kind of the different people that are involved in it, whether it's speakers that they bring on or just students.
So what is your general consensus then on how people
hang on one second. The reason I was asking that is I have gotten a bunch of different people that have messaged me from these chapters telling me that, or not from the chapter, but people that said that they wanted to start new chapters, and they had signed up to do that, but then they got the contract, and in the contract it said like they basically have to like sell their life to Turning Point, basically. Like to where Turning Point gets to control their social media and everything they do. And it just seemed really predatory. A lot of people told me, and they that's why I was asking about it. I just wanted to know if you had any knowledge of that. But
no, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Christina, if you want to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just, I wonder, do you have a copy of that? Any of those contracts yet, Colin?
One guy's supposed to send it to me. I don't have it yet, but he said he was going to send it to me.
Yeah, I'd like to look at
If
that.
I get it, I'll send it to you.
So what is your general consensus moving forward? Are you working with Turning Point USA anymore?
No.
Okay. So obviously you want to start your own brand. But what is the consensus that before you left that was existing within, because you said you spoke to multiple different people, correct?
Yes,
different
ma'am.
charters. How are those people feeling?
So I've talked to some.
Well, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said you spoke to them after like the death threats and stuff. I don't think. Have you spoken to them recently? More recently, as far as like their post Erica and all this afterwards.
Are you talking about the leadership of the chapter?
Just you said you talked to a bunch of other different chapters. Her question was basically like, are you like are you getting the same kind of sentiment from them? Are they having the same kind of issues that you were having?
I haven't. I wanted to write this letter in a completely unbiased way, so I didn't really reach out to anybody to get their thoughts on like even quitting Turning Point and stuff. But just from what I've seen, like especially the University of Arkansas and Dino Fantagrassi, who was a chapter president there for 5 years, that I put in my video, that was one of the turning points of why I decided to quit, because they were like, that was super gnarly. I mean, Erica goes there, and then a week later, they're like, we have made a unanimous decision to completely disassociate from Turning Point USA. I was like, holy crap. And then every time I bring that up, everyone's like, oh, you're just regurgitating Candace. I saw that report before Candace even talked.
Exactly.
I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, holy crap, this is freaking crazy. And this is before I decided to even think about quitting. I was just on the fence of like, okay, should I post about them still? Should I be involved still? I don't know. But guys like that, and I said in my letter, the boldness of that chapter, I think it's going to happen a lot more. It's only been 7 months, and just my own opinion, I think kind of the more controversial stuff that would make people leave have come out in the past 2 to 3 months. So it's a very new thing. And a lot of people have been saying like, oh, why did you join 7 months ago? Then I'm like, what do you mean, dude? I have an open mind and a critical thinking mind, and I'm not just going to follow the crowd. Like if something's suspicious, I'm going to be like, let me question that real quick. Let me not just like wear a freedom shirt and carry on Charlie's mission and not ask questions. So,
well, do you think they're still on Charlie's mission?
As in like the higher ups of Turning Point, who's running the organization?
Yes. Do you think the mission is still the same within Turning Point USA as it existed with Charlie Kirk?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. So I was at In-N-Out Burger 2 weeks ago. Shout out In-N-Out. I'm from California. Sorry, I'm super biased. I was eating, and I was just scrolling on Instagram, and I see Turning Point. I still follow them. I want to see what they post. And I see Turning Point post, and it's a clip of Charlie on like a panel from some speaking event. I think it was like early 2025, or I'm not going to say a year. I don't know when it was, but it was definitely months before September 10th. And it was him like talking all good about Israel and like to not be anti-Semitic and stuff. And this is like obviously the text that he sent us, and I'm leaving the pros or cause. It made me sick. I was like, okay, so let me get this straight. You're using the dead guy that you guys have been promoting this entire time to push your pro-Israel narrative in the midst of people getting backlash for being pro-Israel and stuff. It honestly made me sick. I screen recorded it just in case they deleted it, because who knows, but I don't think they did. But I called my dad and I was like, dude, freaking look at this. Like, because I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the Josh Hammer debate. He debated somebody. Charlie was like the mediator for that.
Yeah, we've pretty much seen it all.
Yeah, that and Dave Smith.
Yeah, so even if you
that was one of the things that led to I think his assassination.
I agree.
Actually,
yeah, absolutely. Because you know what's crazy? Because I watched the whole thing, he was very not like on one side, and at the same time he wasn't just like, okay, I'll let them do their thing. He was like saying like, hey, Josh, tell us this, and like, what was the other guy, Dave Smith, right? Yeah, he was like,
I think so.
Yeah, Dave Smith.
Yeah, because Dave was like, no, Israel's not an ally, and Charlie was like, okay, Dave, like, let's dive into that. Tell us why you think that. Like, I want to hear your opinion. So it wasn't like, okay, guys, hash it out. I'll just say here. He was very outspoken about that, and he wasn't like pushing back against being against Israel. So that's a whole thing. But just like, especially after watching that, the fact that Turning Point posted like that 30-second clip of Charlie being like, oh yeah, Israel is so great, and like being anti-Semitic is disgusting and stuff. And it's just like, it's the propaganda that they're spewing to try to make Charlie look like he was completely pro-Israel and nothing else, nothing against Israel. So
they're trying to feed a narrative. And after that happened with Iran as well, when Charlie Kirk was when people were using Charlie's words against them, they went and removed a large portion of all his past episodes from Spotify and Apple. You can still find them on Rumble. I have them all in a data set on my X. But they start removing his stuff after people were using his words against them. So I am so glad that the youth can recognize a propaganda cycle, because at one point, and that's all these are propaganda cycles. They're distractions from the real issues. And when you have media, like how big conservative media is getting right now with, Don Jr. now has a controlling stake in Salem Media, and Salem Media does Blaze, I believe. It does Turning Point.
Salem Media is a huge problem. They are one of the top Israeli propagandists, and they're actually in the Farah documents as being a pro-Israeli propagandist.
So we have these large media companies,
and Charlie, Charlie, his network, and all these same people. And that's the thing. You can see the networks, like what you said about Charlie's recognizing the patterns or whatever. That's one of the patterns that you see. It's all these people in this same network, this Salem Media network. Every time that they want to go on attack against Candace or against us for recognizing something and calling them out, they all do the same exact talking points, and it's the same people that are in the same networks using the same advertisers, and it's so obvious. And I don't like. I'm glad people are starting to catch on to that.
People are starting to catch on. They really are. I'm serious. When I say that the American people are revoking any moral authority some of these larger content creators have given themselves, please believe that, because I deal with nothing but data sets all day long. For example, the stuff that happened last night with the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I've already pulled 183 unique comments off of X to get a percentage. 47% of people do not believe what happened last night was organic. Out of 183,000 organic comments, 47% do not believe.
And I will say, just to piggyback off of like people talking on Candace and stuff, I wanted to show this again, because here's the thing. If we're being all about transparency, Turning Point would put out stuff. It doesn't even have to be Turning Point. Talk about it on the Charlie Kirk show. I haven't seen Andrew Colvette, Blake Neff, Mikey McCoy, Jack Posobiec. I haven't seen them talk about this once, except the one time after Candace leaked it, because they kind of had to kind of admit that it was real. So these texts of when Charlie said, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. So the people that were pissed at him, it was the Zionist pro-Israel donors. Mm-hmm. They were pissed that he wouldn't cancel Tucker, I'm assuming, for AmFest. And I just want to say this for anybody that hates Candace relentlessly and that was like, oh, Charlie disassociated from Candace and wanting nothing to do with her. They had a falling out. Why would Charlie say on September 8th, I'm thinking of inviting Candace? That's weird. Why would you say that about somebody that you've completely disassociated from and hate so much and you think is this totally evil anti-Semitic person? I'm just asking questions.
It wasn't Charlie that pushed her out, I don't believe.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, they're complete liars. And that's one of the things that really raised the red flags for me and got me pissed off, because when she revealed the text message about the Israeli donors pressuring him, then we find out that Erica and Turning Point, they're taking money from the same Israeli donors that pressured Charlie in the first place, that he said no, he turned down their money. Now they're taking that money and they're pushing this
100 mil, hundreds of millions, right?
Oh,
I don't know the exact number, but it was a lot.
Million.
Yeah,
Bibi Netanyahu said he wanted
no,
to
the BB one was
different?
up to almost $1 billion. Yeah, that's different. That's almost $1 billion.
Said, I want to take Turning Point to the next level.
To his next level of his propaganda. Yeah. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
And then we see them they stay quiet when she did release the text, that then they out there completely slamming her, not backing her up when they know it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then Erica goes on this Shabbat Shalom tour or whatever. It's just, and at any time, like even with the people that like all these TPUSA faith events that they're aligned with, that's all these pastors do. And the Calvary Chapel, exactly. The Calvary Chapel Church are some of the worst ones out there. We'll get into that. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I won't get into that. I just want to say me and my family have ties to the original Calvary Chapel in Costa Mesa, California. We knew Pastor Chuck Smith, Greg Laurie, etc. I have a very good understanding of like that church and especially some of the current pastors there. I'm not going to trash the whole place. I've had some amazing people, especially Chuck Smith. Like he is one of the, like he's like a freaking Paul level of pastor when it comes to like modern day pastors, dude. That dude he's the GOAT for sure. But when it comes to people like Brian Broderson and his son Char Broderson, you guys probably don't know who that is. But during 2020, they were all about the BLM stuff. So I'm not even going to get into that. That's a whole separate thing. They're losers though. Total losers. I've had like 60-year-old women DM me saying, I used to go to the Calvary Chapel and I can't do it anymore because it's an absolute clown show. They're not about the Bible. They're all about their self-promotion and like speaking their own truth. And it like made me sad because like I'm 24 years old and I grew up going to that church. My family grew up going to that church, and I'm having elderly women text me, thank you for speaking out against this because these people suck. And I'm like, okay, freaking crazy. But that's the whole thing. But I do want to say, piggybacking off of what we were talking about, are you able to pull up my video real quick to go to a certain thing? I wanted to put something out there.
Yep.
Yeah, Erica Kirks and this Make Heaven Crowded tour. First of all, that's the weirdest name to name it. But her proximity to sex offenders is concerning.
I mean, I've kept up with stuff like that. I do. It's very interesting with.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna keep it.
Let's go to the list that I had. Let's fast forward to about go to like 20 minutes. See if it's around there. Keep going. Yeah, it's after that. Keep going. Yeah, so it's gonna be keep going. It's the whole list of all three categories. Keep going.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Back. With all the demonized and smeared people. Let's just get that. Let's get that whole list real quick.
I think that's it there, isn't it?
It's right at go after the Andrew Tate one, and then I have the full list up there that's able to see. Let's fast forward a little bit. You might just want to use if you're able to use like the plus 10-second thing. Back.
Okay.
Yeah. Just go forward a little bit. Right after Andrew Tate, I think it's all on there. A little bit more. Back a little bit.
Been touching on this subject a lot, Andrew Tate.
And okay. I mean, that's fine right there. Okay. I want to point this out because this is important. So this is my own opinions. I'm not saying this is gospel truth. This is the conclusion that I came up with of people that have foreknowledge or inside information, people that are clowning people for asking questions and doing research, and people who've been demonized and smeared. So this is super important. Like I said, my own opinions. I'm not saying this is the full truth. If you take the foreknowledge people and the don't ask questions people, to my knowledge, every single one of them relentlessly defend Israel without a shadow of a doubt. They have all publicly done that. All of the people in the demonized and smeared list have questioned Israel. I'm gonna get freaking SWAT rated for this. I don't care. Everybody on the smeared list has either questioned or denounced Israel when it comes to their involvement in American politics. It makes me sick to my stomach because especially Graham Allen and Dan Bongino, I said in my video, they're traitors to the United States of America. They've both worked for the government. They're absolute traitors. I don't say that lightly. They are like, it makes me sick.
About Dan Bongino, I have a video of him where he's actually with his wife. His wife asked him, what is your most important, what's most important to you or whatever, and he said the defense of Israel.
Yeah, freaking. It's like and I will say, I'm sure you guys have seen them. The clips of just people going up to like random freaking Senate buildings, congressmen and stuff, and they go, "Hey, Senator so and so, America or Israel first?" They can't say it. They can't say it. They literally can't say America first. And some of them say Israel first. And I'm like, for anybody that doesn't know this, Israel is the size of New Jersey. I put this on like a Chat GPT side by side. It's the size of New Jersey. Like,
I like this kid.
Yeah. No, even Charlie was saying on the PBD podcast, the Patrick Bet-David podcast in 2023, he was saying, I've been to that Gaza border. It was a 45-minute helicopter ride from one end of the country to the other. You can't go 20 feet without seeing a 19-year-old with an AR-15, and the entire country is surveilled. And he was saying that Israel was on the brink of a civil war. Bibi Netanyahu was essentially rewriting the Israeli constitution, and they were going to try. And he said, and I quote, he said, got to be careful how I say this. They're going to try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. That's verbatim. I've seen that interview so many times, and that, in my opinion, is when he started to wake up from all this stuff. And then I'm sure you guys have seen the veteran that debated him that was talking about that.
Yes.
9/11 and stuff. Mm-hmm. I've seen other people say this. That guy woke him up straight up. That guy woke him up. I don't know where that guy is. I was looking, and some people said he had a social media, got taken down. But I mean, if you look at that, like Charlie Stance's versus that guy versus how he was talking in his texts and with Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, the months and days leading up to his death, it was two completely different things. It was one is like, dude, Israel didn't do 9/11. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's anti-Semitic. To maybe we should like not just believe everything the media is portraying about Israel. So sorry, that's my TED talk for the day. But I mean, it's like, it's so crazy because it's such a small country. And it's the biggest talking point because especially after Charlie died, did like the president, or I don't even know what it's called, did the leader of Russia come out or the president of China come out and say, praying for Charlie Kirk, like we had no involvement in his assassination? Who was the only person on planet Earth that came out and said that? Bibi Netanyahu. It's crazy that people are saying we had an involvement with Charlie's thing. Charlie loved the people of Israel. So it's like so bizarre.
And he was also the first one to announce his death. Well, besides, we found out that what's his name? The Candace just did a show about him. Victor Marx, yeah.
I knew
Victor Marx was actually a first, but Bibi Netanyahu was the second person, even before Trump or before it was announced publicly. And how do you think that is? I wonder how.
I knew he was dead when I seen that shot. I knew it right away.
I mean,
but if we consider the fact of all of the Jewish donors going into Turning Point, you can see why that became such an extreme issue for them. And I believe that Charlie changing his stance on Israel alone is what actually got him killed. And I think other people believe that as well.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, you can argue about like who directly did it, all the investigation stuff, but when it comes down to it, when it comes to the plotting of this, whether it's the Google searches, whether it's Accurate Energetic Systems, what I think who ordered the explosive mic that was on his shirt. I mean, all the different things, it goes back to Israel, dude. I mean, they had a motive. They had a motive.
And not only
go for it.
I was gonna say not only that, but also there were 12 Israel or 12 or 14, I forget, but there were like either 12 or 14 Israeli cell phones on the ground at UBU when Charlie was shot, or not shot, but the Big Bang. And then it comes to find out that when Israel and the U.S. went to Pakistan to have these peace talks with Iran, well, what do you know? the same cell phones that were registered in Israel just happened to show up in the same hotel in Pakistan that this meeting was going on at the same
All
time.
these damn
That
coincidences.
Netanyahu and his cronies were there.
Yeah, and do you guys remember the text messages that Candace were talking about the Zionist Christian donor that was threatening Charlie?
I have a video
Yep.
of one donor come out. I can't remember what podcast.
She's crazy. She's a nutcase.
I was talking
No,
to my
this
dad
is a
about this.
guy.
Oh no, it's a woman who I'm talking about.
I
Yeah,
have a
no,
video of another guy.
she's a nutcase. She thinks she's actually best friends with Erica Kirk. And
Wait, do we
Who is
know who
it?
it is? I thought we didn't have public information about this.
we didn't, but she came out and said it. She actually came out and was proud of happy about it. So that's me.
I'll pull the information.
910?
What'd you say?
Post 910, like she came out and said that.
Yeah.
And there's another
Yeah, it's
one.
wild.
There's a guy too that said he removed millions of donations. Not removed. He was not giving Charlie any more donations. That was like a month.
Yeah, that was Bill Aikman.
Yeah, Bill Aikman. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I highlighted this. I'll just read like 2 sentences of this because it's freaking crazy. Because she was talking about like the Old Testament. And she said this because this is directly to Charlie. She said, "Those who curse Israel will be cursed." And she was like, "You threaten Jews and Christians with your 30 million followers. Be very careful, Charlie." And then she ended the whole thing saying, because she was talking about the Old Testament, she said, "The Jews are under attack. Don't be counted among the Edomites. It will be to your peril, as well as the unfinished work God was going to do through you."
This is spiritual manipulation, guys. 101, moral disengagement and spiritual manipulation. And you will see it become more prevalent as we go forward, especially with these large ecosystems of conservative media. That is a typical tactic to pull motions out of you so that you lack the ability to critically think. And it's something that Turning Point and their higher level executives are using every single day. Why don't you go get a transcript of Erica Kirk's speeches and see how many times she says the word God or Jesus or
She
bless
says
you?
Lord, right?
Right. And I don't believe in mass religion. I have my own relationship with God. That is my own relationship. But I do speak out a lot because I've been highly educated on the Bible about these types of spiritual manipulation, just because it drives me so crazy. If you have people that are just turning to God and then you have someone like Erica Kirk explaining what that is to these people, it's just not going to work out right. And when you have more evil that exists into the world than there is good, the things that are coming are very disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really gnarly because, I mean, just the people, even like the UFO scientist that died a couple days ago. You guys saw that? That was like
There's
super
like
suspicious.
12 of them now.
Dude, okay. That's a whole thing, but I do want to point this out. I'm going to make a video about this and post the video in its entirety. Are you guys familiar with Brandy Vaughn, who was the whistleblower of during COVID? Have you guys not seen this? I don't want you to play it on your show. I mean, it's a 13-minute video.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's
Brandy Vaughn.
By the way, this is Tracy Martin. That's the woman who threatened Charlie in the middle there. The one
Oh
that's
yeah,
in the
I've
middle.
seen this.
Yeah, so
I couldn't find the actual threat, but she is the one that did it.
Can you look up real quick? You don't have to put on the video. I just want to see if it's available on Twitter. Just Brandy Vaughn, real quick. I want to see if it's still up.
Sure.
So BRANDY, and then Vaughn, VAUGHAN.
GHAN. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to pull it up on the screen, see if I'll tell you if it's the right video. Let's see.
Is this her?
No.
That's not her.
Don't look up accounts. Look up just keyword Brandy Vaughn, and it should be a video of her. Yeah, that's her.
Former American insider blew the whistle on Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that's a scientist woman. Yeah. I know who it. Yeah, I know who she is. Absolutely.
I just want to see if the video is up there.
It should be. I remember seeing it.
Oh no, put Brandy with a Y. Brandy with a Y.
Okay. Don't get that.
Yes, that's the video. Okay, so I we don't have to watch it. It's 13 minutes. It's freaking long. But I need you guys to be extremely aware of this, because this is the type of like behind the scenes, just evil shadow people that exist in this country and around the world. So Brandy Vaughn on her Facebook on December 2nd, 2019. So this is before COVID. I'm trying to remember when the first
COVID, it was around November.
Yeah, so it's around that time when this is all ramping up. So she put on her Facebook an entire letter saying that she's not suicidal, she's in perfect health, all this stuff. 5 days later, she's dead. Found in her house by her, I think, like less than 10-year-old son, died from a blood clot. So in that video, though, I really encourage anybody watching this and you guys to watch that video. The scare tactics that they used against her, it's the most gnarly thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not even going to explain it. She had people watching her like 24/7 that took her out.
Like MK Ultra type stuff.
Whatever you can think of. Like I'm talking like she had the most insanely perfect security system, all this stuff. She checked for bugs, everything. She said she showed it on a video. She hid her laptop above her microwave in her kitchen, like hidden, because she had stuff on there. She got home one day. Her laptop was on her kitchen floor, just right there when she got home.
So it's like, what'd she blow the whistle on?
The vaccines and stuff. She was a massive voice when it came to vaccines and just the government.
I'll look at it. I did a lot with
it's bad.
vaccine whistleblowers.
No, it's bad. If we're talking about I haven't done research on every single whistleblower when it comes to COVID and just vaccines in general.
Right.
But to my knowledge, when it comes to exposing just the evil surrounding all of that, there is no one better than her. She is the person that needs to be the voice of that entire topic, because 5 days after you put "you're not suicidal" on your Facebook, you're dead.
That's happening to a lot of them.
Yeah, it's so. I don't even.
So they know something. So, and I tell everyone this: the information is there. All this stuff that people think is clandestine and they can't find it, that's not true. The information is there. You just have to be willing to look for it and know what you have when you find it.
Yeah, and I'll just, like I said, you guys should watch the video and read her Facebook thing. I'm just going to read like a couple bullet points. She said, "I've, in all caps, never had any thoughts of taking my own life. I have a huge mission in life. I've never been on antidepressants or been depressed in my life. I've never taken a daily pharmaceutical drug. There's no way anyone could get into my house. No robbers, no angry exes," which I don't have, by the way, blah, blah, blah. "If something were to happen to me, it's foul play, and you know exactly who and why, given my work and mission in this life. I'm also not accident prone. If something were to happen to me, I have arranged for a close group of my friends to start a GoFundMe to hire a team of private investigators to figure out all the details." Yeah, so she said, "There have been many on this mission or a similar one who have been killed, and it's time this bullshit stopped. The darkness cannot win. I will never stop speaking out for those who no longer can, even if from the other side, where I imagine I would be far more powerful. I have a team of angels surrounding me every step of this journey, but prayers and protection and love are always appreciated. Hashtag be brave. Hashtag for the children. Hashtag truth always wins." So,
and
yeah, go ahead.
And by the way, the guy that was the shooter last night, he's connected to all that as well. He's connected to the missing scientist. He was actually in the he was in the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory at the same time as that the one female scientist that just went missing. They were all working on a big some big weapon thing, and I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely related.
I found a connection to Lockheed Martin. So, but we had to realize that we've seen this pattern before. This pattern is not new. Um, and I'm sorry, but I don't believe an ounce of it. I don't believe any of it. I think they are creating chaos mechanisms and propaganda cycles to support this narrative or this narrative. This shit is so fake at this point. Fake as the day is long.
Are you talking about last night?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This shit's just fake.
Yeah.
In general, it's all propaganda. Everything they're doing is just they're just pushing propaganda down our throats nonstop. And honestly, I'm glad people are waking up, but I think that's what it took to get people to wake up.
It's the same pattern over and over. And I'm not saying that there wasn't a guy outside, that was clearly very intelligent and drove all the way from California or wherever he's from and let off some shots. Okay, fine.
He was somewhat on the spectrum too. You could tell I posted a video. He did a news interview with ABC from 2017. I was able to find, and I posted that. And he's actually talking about a wheelchair that he invented some device for a wheelchair.
I saw that.
And you could tell by his mannerisms, how he's speaking, that he's somewhat on the spectrum. And that's something that you see repeated with these MK Ultra kids, these people that were in MK Ultra program. And I think they may have radicalized him, especially when you look at, I forget the name of the account, but there was an account that posted about him years back as well, that posted his exact name. I think
it was called Hindez something. I pulled that information too, where the only post they had was that dude's name.
Yeah. So I think that's about when they started to radicalize him.
Well, I have a friend named Kimberly Mosby. She has written a book. She was a victim of some MK Ultra type events, and that she finally broke away from it. But when you hear these people's stories and realize how they program them, it's really heartbreaking, because if you train your mind to believe something, it's going to be true. And if someone knows how to manipulate that, then you don't have a shot. So I'm not doubting that some dude was outside the exterior of the venue and let off a couple shots. But what I don't like is the fact that they spun that. And now there's a manifesto, because, they've all got to have manifestos, saying he was targeting Donald Trump. He never got close to Donald Trump. He didn't even get in there. I don't understand why we have this.
Didn't they say it was a collapsible weapon and he assembled it in the hotel?
I haven't got that far.
Is that correct? I think I saw that. That's all crazy though, because let's say it was staged, okay? Because I'm not going to be like, oh no, there's no way it was staged. How am I supposed to know? We have to have our opinions on this. So let's say it was though. How do you get even close to that venue? I mean, he was in the hallway with Secret Service and he did a drive-by shot. And this is my thing. Why is the video quality in why does it look like it was shot in a potato? What is this?
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
It's an event with the president of the United States at not some freaking Gold's Gym with crappy cameras, some type of warehouse. It's a nice venue. Yeah. So I don't.
Well, where was the security? Why was there no security in they did have a magnetron right before you went into the actual ballroom, but there was zero security to get into the hotel, into the actual hotel itself. And there were people mingling around. The president was in there. All the cabinet members were in this unsecured, completely unchecked area where they had no security whatsoever. All you had to do was just flash something that looked like a ticket, and you were I saw multiple people say that.
Yeah, I did too. A couple girls that don't even have very large accounts were talking about how they got their vapes in, how it's all over X. So if there was no security there, then it was meant to be that way. The way that they are running these propaganda cycles and these false flags, the reason they do this is because they don't want you to actually like that. Who knows what the truth is anymore? The American people do not know what the truth is. Okay,
Yes,
and they want to keep you that way. So you need to
absolutely.
just use your pattern recognition, use your critical thinking skills, and form your own opinion. Who cares what these motherfuckers say?
Yes, Christina, let's freaking go.
Yeah, it's like I mean I don't know what the truth about last night is any
Yeah.
more than anybody else does, but I know the patterns that I see.
Well, and I
So
And
will.
that's the thing that
Go for it.
pisses me off about people attacking us, especially like Candace Owens and stuff. Like, we may not be right about everything, okay? I wasn't right about the Erica Epstein audio thing, okay? But when the thing is, you ask questions, you push, you investigate. That's how you discover. That's how you find what's going on. You have to keep prodding and prodding to get to the truth. And anybody who tells you to stop prodding, either they're just brainwashed or there's a reason they're telling you to stop prodding because they don't want you to discover what they're really going on.
Well, yeah, and you can tell somebody to stop asking questions, back it up with like a deterrent to what they're saying though, of what they're asking. Like if someone's saying something or accusing somebody something, say, actually no, this is like, have you seen this video? Like look at this, it's completely against what you're talking about. But no, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Erica's a widow and has children. And I made the comparison. People like directly connected it because people have low IQs and they can't see an analogy. But I said Osama bin Laden, he had children. Osama bin Laden's wife was a widow. They were terrible people. So does being a widow and having children discredit you from being guilty of something? No, it doesn't. But to piggyback off of what Christina was saying about just like the truth and stuff, Michael Jackson talked about this prophetically. He was saying the history books are fake, dude. That like what's in the history books is not real. And honestly, dude, he's another guy. If you look at JFK, Michael Jackson, now Charlie Kirk, these are all people. I know it sounds like conspiracy. These are all people who were against the narrative of Israel in American politics. And JFK was even more because he was talking about not wanting Israel to have, if I'm not mistaken, nuclear weapons. And he was totally against their narrative and stuff. And
Kanye was too until they got to him.
But yeah, so JFK, though, 5 months after he was calling out Israel and like nuclear weapons stuff, assassinated on live TV. So
they wanted AIPAC. JFK wanted AIPAC to be recognized as a foreign entity from a foreign government. And he knew that if that was not classified that way, that we would be in the exact situation we are in right now. We are subsidizing Israel in the billions of dollars while we have homeless vets sleeping on the street, while we have no studies going through for the opioid addiction that is wiping out just millions upon millions of people. Our priorities are fucked up. And Donald Trump was supposed to be the one to fix all this, or at least set us on a path that going forward we would have a chance at renewing the glory of the United States. But some things that are happening now seem more like they were planned and we were conned. But I'm not the type of person that's just gonna say, fuck Donald Trump, whatever. I did a lot to get the man to voted, a lot more than a lot of other people did.
I did too. I voted 3 times. I started this channel specifically for that reason.
Right. So there are some things that he is doing that is just wonderful, wonderful things. But unfortunately, the horrible things that he is doing outweigh some of the great things. But
yeah,
we will see going forward if this propaganda stunt worked for getting people out to go to the midterms.
No, yeah, and look, this is what makes us, this is what puts us on the right side of history as conservatives and Republicans, is if we're asking questions, if we're calling out the guy that we were so passionate about voting for, if he's going to do something stupid. You see guys like David Harris, Graham Allen, what's his name? Yeah, all these people, Dan Bongino, Brandon Tatum, all these people.
Tatum.
Yeah, all these people are like, oh my gosh, I stand with President Trump. Like the war, even with the war with Iran, they're like freaking just like all in on him, not like critiquing anything. And it's against everything that Charlie stood for, and it's just against the truth. Because it's like, okay, buddy, like you have a platform and you're just regurgitating stuff. Because even Dude, Graham Allen and David Harris tweeted, this was like a week ago. I put this on my story. They tweeted like the exact same, almost verbatim thing. Like a couple
Oh,
of the
I got
words
that
were tweaked.
data set if you want it. I got all the people that tweeted that same stuff.
It's just like disgusting. It's like, bro, do you not have your own thoughts? Like, is there like a group chat that's like, okay, guys, here's your monthly income.
Yes,
like, just
there
tweet
is.
this out.
There is, absolutely.
Yeah, but look, like I said, this puts us on the right side of history, because if we're going to be critical thinkers and if we're going to be like, okay, we have an awesome president, but he's stupid sometimes, that's okay to say. That's what Charlie said all the time. Not specifically about Trump, just about anything, though. It's like, ask questions, challenge the narrative. That's what Aubrey Leitch was saying. She was saying Charlie was a guy that always challenged the narrative. And she said, in my opinion, you can't work at Turning Point and challenge the narrative. That's how it is. And she even said, this is her most important quote from that video. She said, I have a gut feeling that the reason I was terminated from Turning Point USA was because I was questioning the circumstances surrounding the assassination of my role model and CEO, Charlie Kirk, the day of his assassination and the events leading up to that.
Is he the one that was in the taxi, the whole taxi story?
The Uber story.
Uber,
yeah.
Okay. That's her.
Totally bogus, dude. Yeah, let me get this straight. So you are one of the higher ups at Turning Point USA, and you're going to take the word of a random Uber driver who apparently reached out to Turning Point USA saying that Aubrey made some slightly critique comment of how Erica ran things when she said she didn't even do that. And that Uber driver was like in connection with one of Aubrey's friends from high school. And Aubrey was like, I don't even talk to anybody from high school. What are you talking about? So then she was pulled into a meeting with Andrew Colvette, who I think he's guilty, straight up.
Man is possessed.
Oh, absolutely.
If you look at the clip,
absolutely.
Talking to Megyn Kelly days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he was talking. He's like, "Oh, we're just dealing. A lot of people are dealing with just the guilt of everything." And Megyn was like, "You mean grief?" And he's like, "Oh, grief." Sorry, like, bro, like this is not real. This is not real life. Like this is like all a script. I don't care if I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist. If you look at just I put it in my video, obviously the plethora of things that were suspicious that day that only I could think of. I'm sure there's plenty more that you've posted about and that you've talked about. The amount of suspicious things that happened just that day, it makes no sense. Right. I mean, if you look at the Zapruder film of JFK, sure, there's a couple suspicious things. And then like Lee Harvey Oswald, there's a suspicious thing with that. And then the guy that killed him, some suspicious things. But with technology nowadays and like the resources that we have, I mean, when I was doing research, I called one of the Dairy Queens in Provo trying to figure out, hey, is that location shut down? And they were like, yeah, that 1545 location is shut down permanently. So I'm doing like my due diligence and like trying to confirm things, not just even like I screenshot Project Constitution stuff and put a bunch of his stuff in my story, but I didn't just like, okay, he posted this. Let me just put it in my video. I was like, okay, let me see if this is true. If someone else posted about this. I was like, okay, this is legit. Let me put this out there as my opinion. So
they never expected us to want to do that. Nope. Now you got a whole bunch of people that were not in investigative journalists prior. Now we have all these resources, and it's so weird to me when people only attack Candace Owens. I'm like, you guys do realize that there's hundreds, probably thousands of other people investigating this.
Someone accused me, like the day I posted the video, they're like, oh, so you're one of the people that's feeding Candace information from the inside. I was like, I was a volunteer. Like what? But no, it's all super bizarre. And like you were saying, we're being lied to. And look, this is what I will say about Candace. Take away all of the hearsay and even people that she verified as reliable sources and eyewitnesses. Let's take the hard evidence video proof that we have. If she was just like mourning Charlie, never did investigative stuff, just carried on his mission and carried on with her podcast, we would have no text messages from Charlie critiquing Israel. He would just be pro-Israel everywhere. We would have no behind his head camera view of that with his necklace flying off. We wouldn't have a plethora of information that we have now, whether it's the Andrew Colvette stuff, the Fort Huachuca stuff. I'm not going to look for it. The most trippy thing with the whereabouts of Erica on September 8th and 9th, when she sent that picture to Andrew Colvette of her kids with her hand over it, I'm telling you guys, like I had sleepless nights when I was making this video doing research.
And they weren't her kids, by the way.
how is it? Because I went on Charlie's Twitter and he was holding his son, and it was like freaking late 2024. I was like, so let me get this straight. This kid is less than 2 years old, and the kid in the picture that was a boy looked like a 5, 6, 7-year-old.
Like 5. I would say he was somewhere around.
And
5.
then Andrew Colvette said, "Don't share," because he was sending it to that YouTube team or whatever, and then they leaked it on their live stream because
Gary's a retard, man. He's our best secret weapon, man. I love Gary. He's a wild one.
Yeah, so it's like that's look. Say what you want about Erica. We have all of our opinions of it. We have the Zoom calls, the super weird audio. Those were
let's get into that. That's something I want to ask you about. Is the Zoom calls when they leak. What was your take on that? And there were two of them actually. There was one that was just audio, and then there was one where we had the video. The audio one was the one I believe came out first. What was your? You can one the other both together, whatever. Just what was your take after hearing them, watching them, whatever?
So the first one we got was the audio. That was from the day after the memorial funeral. So September 22nd, and we got that. I actually think we got both of these back-to-back days. I think it was the 27th and 28th of like February or March, one of those days. Anyways,
it was the same week. I know that for sure.
Yeah, it was the same week for sure. So let's just do chronological order. The video. So this was 6 days after your husband is assassinated on live TV in front of the entire world to see. And I saw some guy talking. He was saying, this is the most gruesome assassination in the history of the world that we've ever seen. Because if you go back to like the ancient times, obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen Braveheart, where he's freaking like being torn apart. And he's like, freedom. So obviously there's like more gnarly ways to die. But when it comes to visually stuff that we've seen, that's been seen by the entire world, in the history of human civilization, there has been nothing more gruesome ever seen than the assassination of Charlie Kirk, ever.
So I would argue even more than JFK, because we have high definition now. We didn't have high definition back then.
Yeah. So look, I watched that video, and I haven't watched it since that day. I was in class at my college, and I saw it, and I immediately went, fuck. I was like, there's no way. And then like when he got confirmed dead, I was on the phone with my dad. And the whole day was crazy. But that video, so your husband is publicly executed on live TV, and 6 days after, you're smiling on a Zoom call about Zoom emojis, and you say, she goes from like, oh my God, this Zoom is so cute. And she goes, I just wanted to publicly say, like, obviously my heart is broken for you guys. She doesn't even say like for her. Like she's like, oh my heart is shattered right now. She's like, my heart is broken for you guys. You guys lost a boss and a guy that you looked up to. It was like so disingenuous. It like made me sick. And I will say this.
And then the smiling at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
look,
I mean,
I will say this when it comes to just the accusations against Erica and stuff, and then I'll get back into the video. I am a movie connoisseur. Like Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors. Like Sylvester Stallone, Rocky. Like these are movies that I like. I try anytime I like have favorite movies. It's always good versus evil stuff. It's always like life lesson stuff, right? So I take it to heart. I watch it like it's literal art. Like it's like.
Well, that's kind of how you're supposed to, though.
Yeah, but people say all the time, it's like, oh, it's just entertaining. But like, no, I'm like invested, right? I'm like, how can I apply this to my life and like make my life better? Like, I know good performances. I know bad actors and bad actresses. I know how this works. I've done this for years. I've watched breakdowns about movies and shows about how this was bad, about how this performance was bad, about how this scene was bad. She is a bad actress. Bad. Horrible. Like real like F list. Like there's like A-list, B tier, B-list actors. She is it's bad. Like I'm not saying like, oh, this is a little suspicious. It's like, no, it's bad.
She's horrible. The worst I've ever seen. And completely really disingenuous. There's nothing genuine about her. Completely inauthentic. And it shows. It doesn't matter what she's trying to portray. It shows.
That fake crying bullshit, that's just for the birds. And I'm a widow.
Yeah, no tears, dabbing the eyes without any, like, what are you dabbing, lady? There's no tears.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull this up. So Okay, yeah. So from that video, where is it? Give me 1 second. Okay.
Oh, and then also in the video, she promised that she wouldn't, that we're all a team, and that she wasn't going to fire any of them or whatever.
Anybody.
And then turn around, and a couple months later, then she fires a whole slew of them, Aubrey included, all because they think she's leaking to Candace. I mean, it's crazy.
How many do we think they fired? Do we have any type of number?
I'm not sure.
It was a lot. It was like 30 or 50
Yeah,
of them. I can't remember the exact number, but it was a lot.
But look, even Aubrey said, I mean, Aubrey was a big component of the memorial and stuff. And obviously, if you're getting the attention of Andrew Colvette from a freaking Uber story per hearsay, you have some influence in the organization. And she said that all the people that were fired were the most hardworking, loyal people Turning Point has ever had. So it's like and everyone on Twitter is always like, oh, you did a shit job, so that's why you were fired. It's like, okay, first of all, where's the proof of that? Second of all, she has the receipts and her word and the words of other people she's worked with. And she even said she's friends with people that are still in the organization that completely agree with her. And honestly, I commend those people. If you are in TPUSA right now and you are thinking on your own and you're against all the BS narrative and you're sticking it out to do your due diligence and try to figure stuff out, you're a freaking trooper. Like you're straight up a patriot.
The reason
I would go one forward and tell them to speak out. Contact us, contact me, contact Candace. We got you. We need help. We need information from the inside. And the more people that speak out, the more people that step up, the easier it will be for us to correct this ship and to right the wrong, because they're destroying his legacy. Yeah. That's one of the things I wanted to ask you about is what how do you feel? I mean, because it's like Turning Point, in my opinion, they have basically, like, Turning Point 2.0 is like the complete opposite of everything Charlie stood for.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just briefly go over, just for people that haven't watched the video. So the video on September 16th, after he was assassinated, it's like so crazy because like everyone's thing is like, oh, that everyone grieves differently and like all this stuff. She said, I forgot she said that in that video. She said everyone grieves differently. So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. The fact that you guys are here in office, that's what he would have wanted. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. I want our family to stay together. And then
that's called manipulation.
Last line that was like towards the end of that. How are you going to say after your husband is publicly executed, I feel so blessed and honored after you take over? So there's that. And then the audio that we got that was the day after the memorial funeral, it's just like, it's so disgusting. It's like she's bragging about merch sales and hat orders. And she started off the call laughing again. It's like so bizarre. So, and then she said... this is the line that honestly was like the nail in the freaking coffin for me. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. You're saying that 11 days after your husband's assassinated on live TV?
Like, we just need to get over it.
And then right after that, she's like, we're moving forward, Turning Point 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, because that's what he would want. And then she like laughs after.
Yeah, she says that's
and
what
then
Charlie
she also
wants a
said
lot.
Yeah, and one of the things she said in it too was, we're going in a completely different direction. Yeah, I forget which one of them, but one of them, she's like, we're forget everything you're doing. We're going in a completely different direction. Like that. That was just
Israel's the direction. There's no two ways about it.
And then at AmFest, when they put the tent up, how'd you feel when they put the tent up with the microphone underneath of it?
Okay, this is important, because I posted this on my Instagram. So if not a lot of people saw it, but
and the trash can. And the trash can that they put under the tent too, by the way.
Let me see if that's in the picture. I posted on my Instagram. I can find it in like 10 seconds.
Oh, it is. One of them, I'll have to look. I have one that they have a trash can underneath the tent.
I took a picture with it.
So wait a minute.
Okay.
AmFest was the funeral, right?
No.
No.
AmFest was in mid-December. It was
that's right.
The event that he always spoke at. So
that was the one that they platformed Ben Shapiro because he paid him $1 million.
He was the opening speaker. Like, are we being for real?
That is insane. That's like a kick in the fucking pants to Charlie Kirk because they did not like each other.
Shout out Rumble. I started a Rumble account last night. If anyone wants to follow me, let me react on Rumble. I'll be posting on there. But let's see, where was it? Yeah, okay. So this was the recreation of the tent he was assassinated under. I want to make this clear. Oh. Hello? I was like, am I taking over the screen?
I was going to put... No, I'm putting you on full screen. That way people see it real quick. I was muted when I said that. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay, so this was at Amfest, and apparently it's a recreation of the tent he was assassinated under. And if I'm remembering correctly, this was greenlit by Elizabeth McCoy, Mikey McCoy's wife, and she got the go-ahead from Erica. So this was not some like error by the team or something. Erica greenlit this. I want to say, before I posted this and took that picture, I had no idea that's what that was. I thought it was just like a background of the tour and stuff. And then like a couple hours later, my friends were like, oh, you know, that's the tent he got assassinated under, right? I was like, what? And then I looked back at it. I was like, holy shit. Like, is that really? And then people saying it's like, oh, it's just a recreation of it. But still, it's like you're doing photo ops under where someone, you know what it's the equivalent of? It's literally the equivalent of in the 60s is if they got the car or a replica of the car that JFK was assassinated in, and you could go sit in it and take pictures in it. Like, I don't say this lightly. This isn't like bullshit, like it's all like a game. Like, this is not a game. This is the most prolific assassination in American history, in my opinion. I think it's more than JFK because with social media and how people get words so easily and how thoughts are spread so easily and how minds can be changed so easily, and how, in my opinion, I think Charlie Kirk would have 100% been a future president. Even Andrew Tate says that. Andrew Tate is more of the freaking extremist when people are raging about either feminist stuff or just like sexism stuff or racist stuff, whatever. Andrew Tate's like, whether he's rage baiting or just speaking hard facts and people are just like raging at him. Even Andrew Tate was like, Charlie undoubtedly would have been president. No one had a larger voice in the masculine youth than Charlie. No one. Right. He said, other than me and myself. He's talking, and Nick. He was talking about like Nick Fuentes because he says some stuff. But it's like, how are you gonna do that? How, like 2 months after? It's like so bizarre to me. So look, I met some great people there. I met Joshua Hames. He was there. He's a cool guy. I met freaking Myron was there. He doesn't really like to talk to people, but he's a cool guy. I met Danica Patrick there. Like a shout out Joe Bob.
I liked her until she started speaking out real heavy against all of us that were bagging on Turner Point recently. Yeah,
I don't give a fuck about none of those motherfuckers.
Yeah,
honestly, it's sad because all the people that I used to like and look up to, they all turn. It's like it's sad. They all can't speak for themselves.
You remember when I said I was doing this for a long time? So I have created a very large network. And after this happened, people that I had been involved with for years, I'm talking about years, we all split into another group. Split us right into another group, and they won't allow you to have your own effing opinion. It's like if you don't agree with them, then they're going to spiritually manipulate you. They're going to attack you. They're going to say the most vile, disgusting things about only because you decided to think for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And going back to the Amfest though, and then on top of that, not only did they have the tent, but they also then put the actual microphone that Charlie was holding when he got killed. They put that in a glass case when the freaking. I mean, that was why do they even have that? Shouldn't that be at the FBI? Shouldn't that be part of evidence? How do they even have that? And secondly, like I said, it's just so disrespectful to do that. And then if you learn one more thing, I'm going to say. And then if you learn, like I've talking to some deep pocket donors that were donating to Turning Point, that have inside knowledge, and I was actually told that they are planning for Charlie's body. They're planning like a museum style mausoleum at either at Turning Point headquarters or in Chicago. They haven't decided yet, but they're planning on putting his body in there and charging people admission to go in there and to, take pictures or mourn whatever with Charlie, and they'll probably have a gift shop and everything. I mean, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
For you.
That's crazy. And with Amfest though, one more guy I want to shout out, because I haven't posted this yet. I'm gonna post it after I finish my video thing and stuff. But I met Alex Stein there, and look, he's a great guy. Like, I will say, if there's one guy that like is so unfiltered and like is entertaining and funny and like was like for Charlie and stuff and not just spewing all the BS narrative, it's Alex Stein, bro. He's such a solid guy. I watched his video the other day because I never watched it, of the day after the assassination, and just like his like emotion and just like how he talked, like his interactions with Charlie and stuff. He's one of the guys I look up to in this movement, with just like influencers and just like trying to speak out against stuff, because he's a pretty solid guy. So shout out Alex Stein, you're the GOAT.
Guys,
I tell you, I speak to some of these people behind the scenes, some of these MAGA people, because I used to be in that same crowd. And a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them do feel the same way that we do. A lot of them do, even if they aren't thinking that like Erica Kirk and Turning Point had anything to do with the murder.
Right.
They absolutely are not buying the Fed slop story. They know something is wrong. They know there was more people involved. They suspect, either government involvement or foreign involvement, but they're afraid to speak out, because speaking out then will get them attacked, it will get them targeted, and it will get them kicked out of their little cushy network, and that's something that's real. It's peer pressure, and it's something they're afraid of.
Well, MAGA is a movement. It's not an identity. So when people take these large movements and consume them as identities, and then they start to represent all of the good and the bad within them, it becomes a really uncomfortable place to be. You're right. A lot of people don't speak out. They don't say how they feel. Because we could, headline Laura Loomer right now. Like, that bitch will go after anyone. She's like a
so insane,
dog
bro.
in heat.
Oh, Christina, one more thing before you go. I do want to say, I was on Twitter last night. I was at the gym hitting legs because I'm trying to get swole. But
Right.
Tim Pool freaking responded to my letter last night and was raging like, dude, he's actually such a psycho. He was going on about like, if you think my brother tried to kill me, you're psycho. I was like, I put it on my story, but I was like, hey, dumbass, I don't know what you're talking about. I mentioned your name. I mentioned your name twice in my video. I didn't even go into detail about you. I just put him on the list of clowns and stuff. And he's like, you're a retard if you think that. And I was like, what are you talking about? And some guy said like, Candace said that one time. I was like, oh, okay. Do I look like Candace Owens to you? You're responding to my letter that I wrote that I put on Twitter. I didn't guys, I did not reach out to him or comment on his thing or anything. He went out of his way to say that on my thing. So Tim Pool's, he's just a retard, dude.
He's a useful idiot is what he is.
Well,
the only thing
that's exactly right. He's in the network. He's in the same circle, getting paid by these influencers in the same text chain.
Absolutely.
I've actually shown that. So
I have him on my list, but Tim Pool did a favor to the whole media thing. He kind of coined that, podcasts, live, having people call in, all of that stuff. He was one of the original people that started that years and years ago. But that does not mean that he's not the useful idiot that he is, because that's exactly what he is. Him, like all of the other people on this list, are getting paid. They no longer have voices of their own. And you can see that, the representation of it on X. But if Tim Pool,
he chases clicks and views and his clout and his access. Exactly. That's all they care about. They don't care about the real truth.
He should tell us who really shot at his compound. Or give us a police report.
Bro, he is freaking.
There is no police report. It's bullshit. I looked into that. We called the police station. We looked into it. Complete nonsense. Complete garbage.
Yeah.
Absolute
So he has
lies.
cameras all around his property. If he wanted to really prove that, he could just show us the cameras, but he's not, because he doesn't have the proof, because he lied. And he lied so that he could go on a rant about Candace Owens and call her out of her name and act like the disgusting man that he is. That's why he did that.
Also, hey, in the off chance he sees this, I would gladly go on his show and debate him. Because look, here's one thing: has that dude ever taken his beanie off? Let's be for real.
No,
Like,
because he's
if
bald
you're
and he's insecure.
if you're a grown ass man and you're gonna be going, Candace Owens has no fucking idea what we deal with
Right.
security and stuff. Like a freaking angry little elf from Elf, dude. So it's free. I put that on my Twitter. It's like, it's so bizarre to me. So Tim Pool, if you want to debate me at Lemme React, send me a DM. I already know you have my account because you decided to comment on it. But one thing I want to say before, Christina, you got to go, about what you were talking about people not wanting to like speak up and stuff. I put it in my video. One of the things Charlie was talking about in 2024 about kind of speaking up and playing offense, because he was saying like a lot of people don't like to play offense because conservatives are usually conserving against the offense of the left and stuff. So he was saying we have to take the initiative and we have to think like revolutionaries, because we don't do that anymore. And he said,
Absolutely.
It's time we need to change that. So if there's one thing that dude instilled in me, it's saying what you believe to be the truth from a truthful and biblical lens and making that your life mission to help people. Because at the end of the day, he didn't go to events that like people liked him and stuff and just like people that agreed with him. He literally went to college campuses and went and talked to people that hated him, that wanted him dead. And I mean,
your age group right now, it is very important that you guys recognize, and you seem to be recognizing it for what it is, because going forward, you guys will control the outcome of this country for your own children and their grandchildren.
yeah.
So when we are in these type of situations where we're creating large, just ecosystems of we're creating a beast with Turning Point USA and all of these large media companies to stifle our voices. So it'll be very important for you guys going forward just to stand up and do exactly what you are doing. There is a shift happening right now in conservative media, and I'm sure that you see that. And people are taking sides, and there's no way to avoid it. They can say that, oh, MAGA's not dead. They can say all that all they want, but the facts don't support that. So continue to do
it's
what
sad.
you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You too. And I'll make sure to, what's your Instagram? Is it just Thought
I'm
Criminals?
not on well, I am on Instagram, but I don't check it often. It's
You have Twitter,
Thought
though?
Criminals 1.
Okay. Is your Twitter
Most
the
of
same
my
thing?
stuff is under Thought Criminals. I'm pretty easy to find.
Cool. I'll hit you up and I'll give you a follow. But yeah, it's sad where we're at right now. It's basically like a mini civil war between all the conservative people. And I put this on my story the other day. I said, like, I'm so tired of all the hurt feelings people that are saying like, oh my gosh, Candace Owens and people asking questions on Twitter is the most evil thing ever. And I put on my Twitter, I was like, watch either The Hunger Games, Braveheart, Lord of the Rings, just any movie with good versus evil, and then get back to me and tell me if you think that's the most evil thing you've ever seen in your entire life. So,
well, I was taught very early on that phrase, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me.
yeah.
So when I hear these people being fucking pansies, or I don't know what you want to call it, the other P word.
It's just cowards.
Yeah, it infuriates me because I recognize how easily programmable they are, and they are willing to be programmed. They are not going out and searching for the truth because they are more comfortable with what people tell them is the truth.
It's the easy thing to do, is to not ask questions, just to believe everything. Because I even have friends that are like, oh, I'm not really that into politics. But then they'll post either a black square in 2020, a freaking the Super Bowl show where it's like, oh, all love, no hate. And I'm like,
well, the Super Bowl show, if you read that guy's lyrics, was not about love. That
degeneracy.
Yes, demonic shit. It is perversion of our youth.
It was also a trash halftime show. Also, Shout out Michael Jackson 1993 halftime show, greatest performance of all time. I don't care. I know I'm only 24, but I'm educated. I swear, dude. Like, I'm telling you that aura, unlimited aura. That dude was the freaking GOAT.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was pretty cool. And I think a lot of us realize now what he was trying to tell us. They went after him saying he was a pedophile, but he was telling us about these elite. And I never looked at it like with all with all the children being at Netherlands that I always thought, it's kind of weird. He's got all these kids around him. I didn't realize that he had all those kids around him to protect those children.
Yeah.
Because he knew.
Can I play this video for you real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's really good. Because honestly,
if you want to send me the link, I can pull it up unless it's on your.
It's on my.
Is
Instagram.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so what? Because even me growing up, because I was born in 01 and he died in 09. Like I remember stuff like even allegations and stuff. But whether it was like the bleached skin or the pedophilia stuff, like he had vitiligo. That was like a skin disorder that did that. So it's like just the media and stuff. But I thought this video was really good, so I'll play this.
I'm not going to do anything sexual to a child. It's not where my heart is. I will slit my wrist first. I would never do anything like that. That's not Michael Jackson. I'm sorry.
So Michael Jackson used his life to protect children, yet was misunderstood by the world as a criminal. Neverland, this mysterious place, was not as simple as the outside world thought. Recently, a previously undisclosed truth was revealed. In Neverland, Michael Jackson shielded children from the forces of darkness, keeping them away from the terrifying reality of Epstein's Island. He provided children with a sanctuary, protecting them from harm and abuse, yet was misrepresented by the media and the public as a criminal. He was falsely accused of abuse, while the real abusers remained undisclosed. Macaulay Culkin and other celebrities publicly defended Jackson, proving that he was not only a musical genius, but also a hero who fought for the safety and protection of children. He not only protected children from physical harm, but also helped celebrities like Britney Spears, offering her advice when she faced control from her father, protecting her freedom. Today, as more truths are revealed, we can finally see Michael Jackson for who he truly was, a hero who sacrificed for others.
I'm not going to do sexual to a
Yeah, that's a good video.
It's the GOAT, man. I mean,
we're in the time of revelation now. It used to be that the truth took significant years to be presented to the public, but that has changed extremely. Now the truth takes just a couple years to be presented to the public. So we are in a time of revelation, and it's not just things about Michael Jackson. It's going to be a lot of things that are coming out in the near future, and people have to either recognize those things for what they are or turn away from them. And the people that turn away from them, those are the people that will be swallowed up by all the evil that seems to exist in this world right now. But I gotta go, boys. I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too. Nice meeting you.
Thank you for joining us.
Nice to meet you too. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Later.
Yeah, man.
Crazy stuff.
It really is. It's wild to me, and we are at a point to where, especially with the internet, it's a lot easier now for people to find the truth, for people to actually see what's really going on, and I think that's one of the big catalysts for this change. Why people are waking up. They're not, because before they were just relying on either the newspapers or the mainstream media. And, with the advent of the internet, and especially with how open everything, well, they're trying to close that, but how open everything has been, you can pretty easily, information at you tip of your fingers. You can find things very quickly. And if you want to learn the truth, it's very easy to go and look up whether, like, if you see something and they say something online, it's very easy to just go fact check them and see if that's true. And a lot of people don't do that, but I think they're starting to wake up and realize that you have to. And one more thing about you said about a lot of people are into politics. I was like that too, but you have to be. What I realized is you have to be into politics because it affects us all. It affects us more than you know.
100%.
By the time it gets to the point to where, it's affecting you personally, it's too late.
Yeah, and even stuff like, because how I get my news, and if anybody doesn't know where to get their news from, like literally just do what I'm doing. It's independent journalists. It's video picture proof. So you're seeing like, okay, that's true. That happened. And honestly, X, like Twitter, I still call it Twitter. I'm never gonna not call it Twitter. I literally still have, I put like a cover app thing over it, so it still looks like Twitter, but it goes into X. But when Elon bought that, it was like, and people can have their own thoughts about Elon. I think he's cool. I'm not gonna die on a hill for Elon. Like, oh, every decision he makes is cool. But when he did that, and he just made everything like, okay, we're gonna make X, Twitter, a platform where anyone can post anything uncensored. Let's put that out there. So that's why I think it's like super reliable. Because if you go back to like the COVID times, doctors and scientists were getting censored. Harvard level doctors, I'm pretty sure Charlie was talking about this, were getting censored on Twitter. I think it was called Twitter back then anyways. Yeah, it was. About research about the vaccine and stuff. So it's stuff like that that's so crazy. And then obviously like conservative voices were not silenced. What's the word for it? Suppressed.
Demonetized, suppressed, canceled, banned. Really yeah.
Like I remember
I was one of them. A lot of people were.
Yeah. I remember seeing like people just talk about like the algorithm and stuff, or like a tweet that they sent a link to and it doesn't work. And then like something that's not even trending is pushed above something that is trending. So stuff like that, like the fight for free speech. When did he buy that? Like 2020, 2022, 2021 ish, around then?
Yeah, I think so, around that. I don't remember the exact time, but it was in that time frame. Yeah.
But no, so that was good. But yeah, it's very easy to get sucked into the lies and manipulation, and sometimes it's almost like it's enticing. It's like if there's a narrative that you want to believe, like, and this is why people have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, is because they'll see a certain headline and be like, oh, I hate Trump so much. Oh, that's true about him. Oh my gosh, let me tweet about this real quick. It's like, okay, buddy, like that was like a CNN post that wasn't even factually true. Like, what are you talking about? But then people take that as gospel. And one thing I will say about people that we're talking about, like, that aren't really into politics and stuff, it's laughable to me how most people that say they're not into politics are more liberal leaning people, because they're like, oh, I don't deal with politics. Like, it's not a big thing in my life. But then those are the very people that will defriend you or block you or not want anything to do with you if you make a post about like Charlie Kirk or Trump. It's like so crazy. It's like, I thought politics weren't a big thing for you. Like it's big enough for a thing to like end our relationship or friendship. Like that's what blows my mind the most. Because I will say, I'm putting these two people on blast. I'm not going to name them, but I have the same birthday as one of them, and that I go to school with. And I hung out with these two girls that were in this friend group, and we were like cool for a long. I actually watched the election in November of 24 at their place. I was just on my laptop while they were like, we were all hanging out playing like Uno or something, and I was watching it. I was watching Charlie Kirk's live stream, and I remember they didn't really have like an opinion about it. But then I remember my birthday came around, and it was one of her birthday too, and I remember posting about her. Like I was like, yo, like happy birthday to so and so. Like, you're awesome. It was like a video of us from like a year before. And I go to like her Snapchat thing, and she has me unadded. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So ever since I started Lemme React and I started posting stuff, dude, these people don't want to have conversations or dialogue, especially things like Charlie stood for. They're like, I want nothing to do with you. You're a white supremacist, racist psycho that hates black people or something. Like, I don't know, whatever talking point you want to make. But it's just sad, because it's like people my age or even younger are just being manipulated. And it's half on the mainstream media because it is very manipulative, but it's also half on them, because if you're not going to have a critical thinking mind and do your own research and just believe stuff and be a sheep, I don't know how to help you there other than saying what I believe to be the truth and putting that out. So that's a mini story for you about just even people I've dealt with that have claimed to be my friends, and then they're like, you posted about Charlie Kirk? Yeah, you're a psycho. I'm like, okay, buddy. Like, doors over there. So. Yeah,
I completely agree, man. And another about your point about the Trump derangement, the Trump derangement syndrome. It actually goes both ways, because there's a lot of people that have Candace derangement syndrome now, and it doesn't matter how much factual proof she shows. It doesn't matter what she brings up. It just they don't care. She's automatically evil, the demon. She's wrong, and it's honestly it's disgusting. You know, these people are it's become a cult like mentality. It really has. And I was fighting. The left was saying MAGA's a cult. MAGA's a cult. They were saying it for the longest time. I was like, nah, you're bullshit. It's full crap. You know, and that's because I personally knew that I was not in a cult, that I could free think. I would, I would call out both sides. If I saw somebody doing something wrong on the right, I'd call it out. If I saw somebody doing it on the left, I'd call it out. But a lot of these people, they are in that echo chamber. They are in that cult mentality, and they, it radicalizes it. It's not radicalized. It's more extreme. Makes them extremists. It gives them that extremist point of views, and it's sad. And I think social media, I mean, there's a lot of good things with social media. Like you get the information at your fingertips, you can look things up fast. Free speech is a lot easier, but there's a lot of bad things too. And that's one of the things that we've gotten out of that is echo chambers. And the algorithms. The algorithms are, I'm completely against algorithms. Algorithms are very manipulative. They push what they want you to see. And that's basically, and we're seeing that now, like on X, they're hiding all of us that are, trying to post the truth, trying to post about Charlie, trying to post pro-Israel, anti-Israel stuff. They're just hiding us. They don't want anybody to see our content anymore.
Yeah, and like I put this on my story the other day, but I said one thing I will say about Turning Point directly is all these people trashing people like Candace and stuff is. And I said, if there is a clip out there or a segment they did or an episode they did, send it to me, prove me wrong. Like I have an open mind. But I said, has Andrew Colvette, Blake Neff, Mikey McCoy, Jack Posobiec, have any of them sat down at that table on the Charlie Kirk show and looked at their TV and been like, okay, this guy looks suspicious, this guy looks suspicious at like the UVU footage or anything? I haven't seen a single thing. So if you're going to be so ignorant to say like, oh, these people are just attacking Erica because either they hated her or she was in love with Charlie or she hated Erica or she wanted to burn Turning Point USA to the ground. And you're not doing, excuse my language, you're not doing shit about anything over an assassination of your so-called best friend. It's disgusting. It honestly makes me sick. And that's why I despise all four of those people, because all of them have been just regurgitating the same stuff, which is Tyler Robinson 100% did this without a shadow of a doubt. We got to carry on the flame for Charlie. Candace is psycho. Everyone attacking MAGA and just hates Charlie or asking questions hates Charlie. So it's just sad times. And I also said it. I was like, they're averaging like 5,000 to 14,000 views per video. If this that's why it makes me sick, is because if you were truly carrying on Charlie's legacy and like speaking truth and looking for answers and actually standing up for the guy and being transparent about stuff, even controversial stuff that he spoke out against, especially the days up until his assassination, you're just a clown. You're an untruthful, ignorant, cowardly clown. And it makes me sick. So those people don't weigh on my conscience, but I will speak out against them, especially when it comes to relevant topics like stuff we're talking about. Because even like the whole Israel thing, have they criticized Israel at all? Not that I know of. At least when it comes to the assassination, there's no chance that Israel had anything to do with this or any foreign government to do this. It was Tyler Robinson. He for sure did it. Andrew spoke to the surgeon. I read his whole tweet on my letter. But.
Jack Posobiec is another, like he's I don't know how many times he's posted, but he's posted probably 100 or 150 different times, maybe more than that. I saw my friend Charlie Kirk killed by a leftist that day. And it's like, where'd you see that? I didn't see that.
Yeah, and he was, dude, you know what's crazy is
and they're under a gag order too. They shouldn't even be talking on at all, and they continue to keep their witnesses. They're under the gag order as actual witnesses. Kelwett's not, but the other ones are, Blake Neff and stuff. And they and they're talking on this stuff, and they're trying to contaminate the jury pool, taint the jury pool. It really is disgusting. Yeah. They don't want a fair trial. They just want to bury it and move on.
They want to put him in the ground, dude. They want to put him in the ground as fast as possible. Did you see their episode when they were talking to that lady where they were asking her how long they think until the trial would move forward? Did you see that?
Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know right there.
When she said, if I had to estimate, it would be like early to mid 2028, and Andrew was like, "What, 2028?
Oh,
I don't care if it
Yep.
takes 7 years. Which it shouldn't. Obviously, we need things to be transparent. So if things are transparent, it won't take 7 years. But let's say it had to take 7 years. I'll wait. I don't care what comes out. I'll wait. I want the truth to come out. So this is the problem with everybody relentlessly defending the narrative that Tyler Robinson did this. Have we seen a single video or audio, anything of a word coming out of his mouth? Not that I know of. Zero. I think did you see his grandparents, that audio? Was that confirmed? Was that real?
Yeah, that is real.
Because I don't know how that would be fake. It seemed real to me. Like, I don't think anybody would.
That I know who took it. It's real.
Yeah, so that's crazy because look, I have family members on both sides. I have some family members that are liberal, and then I have some normal ones that are conservative. And it's actually funny because all the conservative ones are in California. But I know how like family can get with people like being on sides and stuff. So when it comes to something as gnarly and drastic as this, if your grandson did this and you were positive that he didn't do it, I would hope you speak up about that. But if you're on the fence about it, like let's say you're not like completely like, oh yeah, he did it. Let's say you're on the fence about it. Like, I'm not sure. I still don't think you would come out and say like, oh no, he didn't do it. I still think you'd keep that to yourself. But if you're like so confident that your grandson did not do this, because I think it was his rifle, right? That was the grandpa who owned the rifle. Mm-hmm. If you're so confident that he didn't do it, and I'm not sure if he was aware that he was being recorded or not. It seemed like he wasn't. Maybe he was aware, but
he was not aware. No.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's pretty crazy. And then this is one thing. It shows the patheticness of it. So this was on Friday. Jack Posobiec said, at Grok, explain how a 30-06 could enter a person's neck, then fragment in such a way that it does not leave an exit wound. What role would downward angle of rooftop shot play? What role would the target leaning forward play? So these people are so desperate and pathetic that they're asking Grok on X to confirm their narrative that they've been pushing. Because it's like, what does that prove? It's like he's just trying to get more. I don't even know. That's like weird to me. And then he did another one. It was like, at Grok, is it possible to reassemble a Mauser 98 using only a screwdriver? Because they were saying like there's no way he could assemble, disassemble, and jump off the roof. And then he leaves
there's ridiculous.
And like the whole, we can obviously go into any topic of that day.
And I don't know if you saw the video I put out where recently where they said, or not where they said, but where the rifle, the safety on it, the gun's inoperable. If it has the same, the rifle that they said he used, it has a wingtip safety that you have to rotate 180 degrees past the bolt in order to fire it. And if it's still the original, now I will say they do make aftermarket models, which are low profile ones and side swing ones to where they get around that. But if you like what they say, he has a $2,000 low mount scope on it. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that safety, and I showed a video of the guy showing that exact gun with that exact kind of scope on it, where it hits the scope, where the safety hits the scope. It cannot hit. And it's just like, is that why they're holding the rifle at Quantico? Is that why they haven't released any pictures of it? Is that why they're not letting the defense look at the rifle, take pictures of it, anything at all?
Yeah.
Because they know that, and it's pretty much a prop. It's an inoperable prop. It cannot fire.
Have you seen Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise, the movie?
I know about it. I don't remember if I've seen that one. I know he's there a bunch of them.
Yeah, so in that movie, there was an assassination that happened of like 5 civilians that seemed like super weird and random. And the guy that was accused of it, this former military sniper, he when he was taken in, he said, "I want Jack Reacher." And Jack Reacher was Tom Cruise. He was like, I'm not even associated with this guy. Why would he ask for me? It's because he knew that he would get to the bottom of it because he was like an investigator guy that was in the military. So like halfway through the movie, they're like doing the research about it, and that guy ended up being a patsy, or actually, no, it was patsy. I think that's the correct terminology, even if you're framed, right? Like you don't have to have foreknowledge if you're a patsy. Yeah. So he was like James Barr is innocent, like he was a patsy, and it gave me like a really good perspective on this because at like 3 a.m. when I was doing research for my video, I was like, okay, let's like take this scenario into like the real world, like of this movie. The gun that was used like was in the security vault or whatever, and they were like, Tom Cruise was looking at it. He was like, they did forensics on it and stuff. Obviously, it's like the transparency with like people behind the scenes and like how investigations work. We just haven't been given anything, and that's the weird thing. It's like the autopsy was extremely suspicious. I don't think we got an autopsy confirmed until what, 2 weeks after, like 13 days after he was killed.
The thing with that is we have on police audio, they say that there is no autopsy. Erica, due to the way she signed for it, they don't want an autopsy or whatever, which is, by the way, that's against state law. They can't do that. And I don't know if it was me or somebody else, but I put the story out, and right after we put the story out and it started to go viral, then all of a sudden that's when they came up with this, oh yeah, no, there is an autopsy. This is what it says. But yet they haven't showed it. So I don't even, and even what they said in the autopsy about how it, making that right angle turn and going down the spine, complete bullshit. It's impossible. It cannot happen. Honestly, if there is an autopsy, I think it's fake.
Yeah, and Baron Coleman was talking about this because he was talking about like the Google search stuff, like the Google Trend search stuff, and surgeons at that. Well, what's the name of the hospital again? Do you remember?
Timpanogos Regional Hospital.
Yeah, Timpanogos. So that hospital and a plethora of names of surgeons were searched in DC and Israel before 9/10. That it's like that whole series that he does about that stuff. That's disturbing. It's honestly disturbing. So, I mean, if you're going to,
that's some of the most damning evidence, honestly. How can you look at that and like, what's a rational excuse? Even they looked up the address where the gun was found. The person's address where the murder weapon was found on.
Yeah,
that was searched in Israel prior to.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how do you explain that for all the people that say we're wrong and we're just making shit up? How do you explain that? What's a logical explanation for that?
Well, you know what also doesn't make sense is the timeline of Tyler Robinson's arrest. It's how is it that, because from my recollection of September last year, there was a police officer who had ties to the family who was informed by the father because Tyler Robinson told his father that he did it. We see body cam footage. We see body cam footage of psychopaths stabbing their wives graphically all the time. So why is it that the most sought after, looked at case in American history, because of the social media, all the clips and stuff, it's the most researched and deep dive case of all time? Why is it that we don't have body cam footage of Tyler Robinson's arrest? Why don't we have even, let's say they didn't want to show the video. Why don't we have audio from that? Like, Mr. Robinson, like, we're here to arrest your son. Like, he needs to surrender himself right now. Whatever, anything. There's zero, even pictures. Where are pictures from his house or something? Or him in handcuffs behind his back? There's zero anything.
Even then turning him in at the station, when they went to the station, there is zero surveillance footage. They deleted their surveillance footage. They admitted they deleted their surveillance footage. And it even came out because somebody, I forget which, I think it was Scribs News, but they actually tried to they grant a request, but it's a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
But they filed a grant request to get the body cam footage of that, one, to get the interrogation video and the body cam footage. They refused to release the interrogation video because they said it's an ongoing investigation. But the body cam footage, they claim there's no body cam footage. And I looked it up, and that's against state law, and that's against their actual department policy. If any time that you interact with the public, they have to have their body cameras on. So you're telling me everybody in that station, when the most high-profile person that's ever walked through your doors comes in, not a single one of them have their body cam.
It's bizarre, dude. And even the Dairy Queen thing, I don't know if you've seen that one guy walk around and show how it's like completely cleared out. That was, I mean, I highlighted two things on my huge list of things that I thought were suspicious that day. It was the Dairy Queen thing and the pouring of cement on the crime scene like 3 days after. So the Dairy Queen thing, though, I want to point this out for people that, because I'm sure everyone's seen the stairwell picture of Tyler Robinson, of the first one that came out, right? Security cameras don't take pictures. Those are screenshots from video footage. So they didn't even want us seeing the stairwell footage of him walking up the stairs, because I don't even think that's him straight up. I think that's him. And I don't know.
No, it's not. And also, you know, they're trying to say that he had the gun in his pants, and there's no way he could have the gun in his pants. He had skinny jeans on, and you could see in the pictures that they released, you can actually see his leg is bent on one side in one picture, and his leg's bent on the other side in the other picture. Yeah. There is no way that there's a gun inside those pants. There's no way.
Even him walking by the house, like with a limp and stuff, and then before that, like even let's say he had the gun there. Where did it go when he was going up to the roof? It's all, but that's one thing I wanted to key in on for people to realize. It's even with the Dairy Queen thing, we have that picture of him from the Dairy Queen of him holding like the drink and his food and stuff. That's not a picture. That's a screenshot from video surveillance. So
exactly,
they have that. And obviously the FBI seized it, because why else would it get cleared out like that? They didn't do that on their own. So,
well, Candace is actually the one that released that.
Was she really?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the FBI actually has it, but Candace released the screenshot. I don't know if she has the actual video, but I know she's the one that broke the story on that.
Okay. See, that's how you know I'm not like just a full-on Candace like cult follower, is because I saw that before she even posted that. So Candace is the GOAT, but I'm not just like taking every single thing she says for gospel. But if she's gonna put some stuff out there and it's legit and it corroborates other stories, then I'm gonna be like, that's legit. But that's important, is because if we had that video, how do we know we can't see which direction he walked by? Because I think BYU was literally right across the street. We could have seen either his car pull up, or which way he was driving from, or if he had something, literally anything.
Or who was with him, maybe. Because in the neighborhood, they're actually in one video they cropped out, there's a car that pulls up, just as, you know, the one video where he runs behind the house and then he comes up the driveway to get out, you know, to walk back out to the road.
Yeah.
As he's walking out to the road, there's a car that pulls up, and as soon as the car pulls up, then all of a sudden they crop the frame above the car so you can't see the car, but you can still see like the top of two people's heads walk up and then get in that car and then take off. But they don't ever let you see the car. And another thing is, there's supposedly, I haven't seen it, they're hiding it, but there's supposedly video, according to the people that took the body cam, or not the ring camera video that turned it in. Yeah. Supposedly there is video of Tyler Robinson changing clothes, and he had a female accomplice with him.
I remember hearing that. That was back in the early investigation days of that. What was that, like September 14th, probably?
Yeah, very early on. Yep.
I remember that. But no, it's really crazy, and like I put that whole list on my video. If anyone wants to watch it, it's later in the video, like around 30 minutes or something. But it's even guys like Baron Coleman. I think I went back and watched, because my dad recommended Baron to me, because while I was doing my research for my video for the 2 weeks that I was doing it, not investigating, but putting the video together, it took me 2 weeks. I remember seeing the Google trend stuff, and I remember seeing his face, but I had no idea who Baron Coleman was. Zero idea. So shout out to my dad for calling, or for putting me on that guy, because he's a really intelligent guy, and I think he's been in.
He's amazing, yeah.
So he's a good guy. He seems like a solid dude. But I remember his first episode he put out. I don't even think he was like doing this stuff a lot. But when the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, he was like, let's look at some stuff. And he's so funny too, because all the time he's like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions. I'm not assuming. I'm not saying anything. So he's funny, but he has some pull with a lot of people. I think he has a lot of I feel like his resources and sources are pretty solid with the stuff that he puts out.
He's getting up there, man. Like when back, like you said, before he started posting the Google Trends stuff, he barely had a following. Like I remember when he posted a Google Trends video, that's about when I found him, was that first video. And I think it was very, I don't remember the exact number of followers, but very low, very small number of followers. And now he's got like 250,000 followers. I mean, it's crazy. He's just exploded. But one of the things what I'm getting to though, is with the platform like that, you get a lot more resources. That's why Candace can get so many leads. That's why Baron can get so many leads. Because when you have a platform that big, you have that many more eyeballs, that many more people that were sending you information. Like Candace gets 50,000 emails a day when every time she puts out asking for a new tip, boom, another 50,000 emails hits her inbox. So
and I gotta go in a little bit, but I do want to give you this thought for next time we talk, because I do want to talk to you about Butler, Pennsylvania sometime. I want to dive into that with you.
Yeah, we could do another one for sure.
But I wanted to get your thoughts real quick on Joe Kent, and kind of, because he was on Tucker and he was talking about, I think he was the one that actually leaked the texts of Charlie saying he was leaving the pro-Israel cause, if I'm remembering that correctly.
He actually was not.
Not leaked, but he was the one that I think was he.
They were leaked to him.
He gave it to Candace though, right? Candace leaked it.
No, Joe. It was leaked to Joe Kent, but the thing is, they're trying to say Joe Kent is the one that leaked it, but Joe Kent is not the one that leaked it.
Okay.
Andrew Colbert actually sent that out to a bunch of different people, not just Joe Kent.
Oh, and Joe.
So it could be, it could be any number of them. They're trying to pin it on Joe Kent because they're trying to say that he, distributed classified information. It's not even classified information, but they're trying to pretend like it's classified information. But as far as Joe Kent, he's one of the few guys that are a good guy. He's been on our side. And even like they're trying to, like, they give him shit, about Candace, sending, about Fort Huachuca.
Yeah.
And he, like she didn't vet him. Like, she didn't send him there to vet him. What she did was this guy came to her and said, "Hey, I have a story. This is what I saw." And he is the one that's doing the investigation, the proper investigation. So obviously you would send him to the person doing the investigation that you want them to do an actual investigation in, And then after talking to them, you're like, yeah, he checks out, everything looks right. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that they tried to shut down Joe Kent's investigation,
crazy.
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know right there. The FBI, and that's the thing, is the FBI is covering it up. And that's one of the things that's been very apparent since the beginning. I mean, even like on the audio, the police audio, I have all the police audio from that day that I saved. And on that police audio, you can even hear where they were instructed, the local police were told, do not interview any witnesses. Just hold them there till the FBI. Do not talk to any of the witnesses.
Yeah, was that like the gag order they put on people that were at UVU? Or is this?
No. This was that day. This was the police audio from that day.
Okay.
So, right after the shot, the police are obviously there trying to get witness statements and stuff, and they were told to stand down. Do not do anything. Do not get witness statements. Wait till the FBI and let the FBI handle it.
Yeah, because wasn't there a whole thing where it was like it happened in Utah. The guy that did it was from Utah, so the FBI shouldn't even be involved. But I kind of was against that because it was like, okay, dude, it's like a really big figure in American politics, so I don't care if the FBI gets involved if they weren't corrupt and stuff. But the thing, I really don't know how I feel about Kash Patel. Me and my dad actually saw him at the airport before.
He's a joke, man.
Yeah, we saw him at the airport before he was announced head of the FBI. My dad gave him a fist bump. It was funny, but I think most of it is ignorance, because I don't think he's like some evil, terrible person. I just think he's in over his head. I think the FBI was already corrupt, and I think that, I mean, obviously when he got in, they're not just going to clear everybody out and then bring new people in. There's obviously people there that were in the Biden administration and stuff, I'm sure. But it's such an unknown. Like, we have no idea what goes on with that. It's one of the higher up organization that is behind the scenes doing stuff.
Well, I could tell you for sure that the FBI was corrupt and probably still is corrupt even without Cash Patel.
Yeah.
But he's not made it any better. He's actually made it worse, because what they've done is they weaponized it, and he is basically a Trump loyalist. He's one of those people that are in the cult. And he will do anything that Trump tells him to do. So the orders come down from Trump, hey, you got to cover this up for Israel or whatever. And he's doing it. He's just sweeping for him. He doesn't care. So it's not ignorance. He's definitely intentionally covering it up.
Yeah. When I say ignorance,
and there's many instances of seeing that.
When I say ignorance, I guess I mean with, because he's definitely doing stuff intentionally. But I guess I mean like the more gnarly, freaking just evil shadow people behind the scenes. Because like I don't think he's aware of everything going on. I don't. I think.
Oh no, he's a retard, man. He's straight up retard. He doesn't realize what's going on. So.
But I read Joe Kent's resignation letter, and I thought it was, I don't know if you read up on all that, but I thought it was really solid. And it was kind of like how we're talking, like even like how Christina was talking, is you're for this guy. At the end of the letter, he's saying it was an honor working with you. Like, that's how he ended it. But he said, with how the war with Iran is going, I can't in good conscience work. I forgot what his title was, but I can't work for you anymore. So I thought that was really cool. And I honestly, to be honest, I haven't even watched this full Tucker interview. I've seen some of it. I definitely need to watch that to see.
You should. It's very good.
I'll see
Yeah, you should. I won't spoil it for you, but it's very good, man.
Yeah, so I'll do that. But it's a crazy. There's so many different things we could talk about. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about some other stuff sometime, or even if some more stuff comes out about this alleged assassination attempt last night. So it's all crazy. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not full on with every single thing Candace says, but from my opinion, this is all fake and gay, dude. It just is. It's all wild.
It is. And honestly, the sooner people realize that, and the sooner people realize that the whole Republican versus Democrat is just a fraud, it's they want to pit us against each other, whether it be, Muslims versus Christians, whether it be white versus black, whether it be Democrat versus Republican. It's all just to keep us to keep us fighting each other, so we can't pivot and face our real enemies, which is these deep state, the elitist, the people that are actually pulling the puppets, pulling the strings behind the scenes. They are the real problem. They are the real enemy, and they are who we have to go against.
100%. It's all a smokescreen, and this is even what guys like Michael Jackson were speaking out against. It's like the elites and the people behind the scenes, whether it's Epstein or people in the music industry or people in Hollywood. Like, I'm from California. My hometown in Orange County is like within 2 hours of Hollywood. It's freaking evil, dude. It is an evil town. It is a satanic cult that people indulge themselves in. And even I think Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, he was talking about this. He was saying, he was like, I stay out of Hollywood because it's all crazy, and I don't want to be in that life. And I commend him for that, because obviously he could speak out against stuff, because I'm sure he knows about people. But even guys like, I'm not sure, do you know Ryan Garcia, the boxer? So he's been very outspoken about. This was like 2 years ago. People were calling him psycho for calling out Bohemian Grove and stuff, and like Epstein, and like freaking preying on children. And I've actually he follows me on Instagram, but I've dapped him up a couple of times after his fights. He's a really solid guy, but he always praises Jesus at the end of his fights, win or loss. But he's been very outspoken against the elites and Epstein and standing up for children. And that's the one thing. Look, we can debate and agree and argue and fight all day over the politics of stuff, policy, all this stuff, even like the LGBTQ stuff. Where I draw the line,
Gotta protect the kids.
Where I will kick the freaking door in is if children are involved. I don't care who it is. I don't care who's involved. If you're pushing transgender ideology, LGBTQ sex practices, pedophilia, all the elites in Hollywood, if you have children involved, you have Satan in your soul, and I will protect children like that to the best of my ability with my dying breath. I don't care. I don't care who threatens me or who tries to cancel me, whatever, dude. Guys like Michael Jackson, Ryan Garcia, those guys are awesome because they openly spoke out in the midst of cancellation against protecting children. Like even the Michael Jackson halftime show I was talking about in 1993, he took zero money from that. Zero. He gave it all to charity, however many millions of dollars it was. And his whole thing was like the Heal the World Foundation. I don't even think it's a thing anymore, which is sad. Like his family should have carried that on. But his whole thing with like the earth and like the children holding hands, like heal the world, that was like his whole message. And now we're living in a time of degeneracy and drugs and sex and just living a trash lifestyle that doesn't model marrying one person or having a family. It's all, yeah, get your money, screw everybody else who's against that, and go have fun and give into your feelings. So I'm not perfect, but I refuse to live that lifestyle. And yeah, just wrapping that up, just guys like Michael Jackson, Ryan Garcia, even Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk was talking about Epstein all the time. I mean, I don't think he was ever against those stuff not coming out. Like he was like, oh, some stuff should be redacted. Like he was like, no, I want everything coming out there. And I think that's, no matter how big of a role that played, I think that's another reason why he was taken out. Honestly, that's just my opinion.
You could see. Oh, absolutely. He. Here's the thing: is he was very outspoken about Epstein, and then Trump got to him and made a phone call and asked him to stop talking about Epstein.
Yeah.
And he made that one video where he was like, "I'm done talking about Epstein anymore. Whatever. I'm done with it." And then he got a lot of backlash. And then he's like, you know what? This is not the right move. And he immediately, within like a day, he completely backtracked and was back on the Epstein train because he realized that he was on the wrong side of history. And he course corrected.
Yeah. And do you remember, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was Joe Kent was saying it, that when Charlie was at the White House with Trump, however many months leading up to his death, some lady, they were talking about some hundreds of millions of dollars of money, and Trump said like, oh, I'm going to F her over and take the money. And Charlie saw
Miriam Adelson. Yep. Yeah.
And Charlie saw Joe Kent, and he was like, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran. I forgot when that was. I don't know if that was like, I think it was like July, summertime, something, maybe, if I'm remembering that correctly. But
yeah, it was right before. I forget when we bombed Iran, but it was right before we bombed Iran's nuclear facilities.
Yeah, I mean, Candace said it best. She said, "Charlie was the first casualty in the war with Iran. Never forget what they did to him." And I put it on my social media last night because I have one of the posters from the memorial. I got it framed and I put it in my kitchen. It says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." And it doesn't even have the Turning Point logo on it, which is, even if it did, it's whatever. Current Turning Point, blah, 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 whatever. But it just
has even better.
Yeah, it just has an American, it has an American flag on it. I put it on my Twitter. But I said, just never forget what they did to him, because they would do the same thing to you if given the chance. And it's so true. Whether it's just the threats or the people getting taken out behind the scenes claiming suicide. I don't know. It's an evil, sick world that we live in, but and sometimes I feel like a lot of us question, like, dude, if I just like didn't call this out, like I'd live such a more peaceful life, and like maybe I wouldn't even die or get threatened or whatever. But at the end of the day, let's say you do live that life, you're going to be going crazy in your head because you're going to know all this information and be like, dude, I could be speaking out against this, but I'm not doing it. So it's, you pick your battles, obviously, and you want to be wise about how you do things. You don't want to just lash out. You want to be strategic and smart with stuff. And I think that's what Charlie did. But I mean, we got to do it, dude. Like, so I appreciate your work because, like I said, I don't take just anything people say for gospel, but you got a good following and you have a lot of stuff that have been confirmed. And I put a lot of your stuff in my video. So thanks for helping me out with that, because I feel like I was searching stuff and I was like, okay, if Project Constitution posted about it, then I think we're on the right track, because it's been good stuff. So I commend your work, sir.
Thank you very much. And I commend you for speaking out, man. I commend you for doing the right thing. And I hope that you're a catalyst for more people to speak out. I hope we get more people inside Turning Point speaking out, whether it be just helping us, whether it be quitting, whether it be publicly speaking out from the chapters. I hope these chapters disassociate. I hope more people step down from the chapters and call out, Turning Point for what it has become, and call out Erica for the fraud she is. So I hope you're the catalyst for that. And I also want to say in closing that you have a very bright future, man. You're very well spoken, good at talking. You remind me a lot of Charlie, and that's awesome. So I think you have a bright future ahead of you. I would definitely encourage you to keep doing the social media thing. And also, you should start your own organization, just like Charlie did, because obviously there's a need for it now. Because, you have the Unfuck America tour, but they're not pushing the same ideals as Charlie. They're pushing the Democrat stuff, and Turning Point is not. They're not representing the same thing anymore. So there's a void, and you could help fill that void. And I think you should, you said you're in contact with Aubrey, but I think you guys maybe should get together and maybe start your own thing. And I think you would find a lot of support.
Yeah, I haven't heard from her. I've tweeted on her stuff a little bit. But I do have some connections with some people that even we've been talking about.
I'll put her in contact with you. I talked to her.
Cool. Yeah, no, she seems cool. Yeah, I'd love to sit down with her and just deep dive. Well, I think she was gonna do a thing with you, right? And then she had to back out of it because of.
Yeah. We're gonna do it at some point, but
okay. Yeah. Look, if you want to make that your own thing, I respect that totally. But if you want to include me in that as well, that would be cool too. But I'd love to deep dive into her just about what she can talk about, because I think she was kind of iffy. If I'm remembering, she kind of said she didn't know what she could say. Or
that's kind of why we stopped it after they started harassing her or whatever. And
okay,
just to protect herself,
Yeah. No, so yeah, I'll keep in touch with you about that, and then just anything else we want to talk about. Like I said, we'll dive into Butler sometime. Because I'd love to get your thoughts about that and just like where you were, how you reacted to that and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Like I'm kind of just
I got some thoughts about that too.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of a change since what I originally thought to what I think now. So we'll definitely get into that. That'd be a good episode.
100%. Yeah. So I'm just weighing my options right now. We'll see where we go from there. But we'll keep in contact. We'll keep preaching truth. I don't care who cancels us. Whoever's watching this trying to cancel us, I don't care who you are. We're gonna keep talking.
Yep.
All right, brother. It was good talking to you. We'll
Christ is King.
Jesus is King, dude. We'll keep the good fight going. Speak truth to the best of our ability. And if we say some stupid stuff along the way, anyone in the chat can call us out for it. We'll correct it as soon as possible. But good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, Mason. Well, nice talking to you, brother. And I'll see you on the next one. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too. Yes, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. And see you guys later.
Peace out.